Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Alright, sup y'all, this is y'all boy Asiago, back at you again on 3 a.m. Thoughts, and today we have a returning guest. His name is Mr. Nobody. I mean, it's kind of hard to remember because, he's a nobody, so. Anyways, besides Mr. Nobody, we got another special guest. You want to introduce them, Mr. Nobody?
Oh, me? Okay. I brought an extra person today. It's Electric Bacon right here, and you can say hi if you want.
Well, thanks for the unnecessary introduction. But hey, y'all, I'm Electric Bacon.
Alrighty, so let's just get right into it. So, okay, so on the show, we just talk about whatever we want. There is no, there is no cap to what you can talk about. So go ahead, just speak what's on your mind. What's on the Twitterverse? Some of my teachers used to say back in the day.
Yeah, I was watching, what was that, Encanto, or what was it? Encanto. We were watching Encanto, and I kind of laughed because there was this scene where, like, she's running around and there's, like, a pollen, like, multicolored pollen, falling all over her head and everything. And when it's finally over and she talks about what the heck she's going to do, what the heck she wants, and she doesn't want anything to be perfect, her hair reminds me of some Twitter user because it's just multicolored. They're like, she transformed into a Twitter user. It all makes sense now. Yeah. I was stalling for time, okay? Because you look like you were looking for your notes here, and I'm okay, I'm gonna come up with something off the wall.
No, I'm listening to your story.
Okay, well that was it.
Was it?
Yes. There was this long awkward pause, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do what I did previous podcast. I gotta fill the empty air with something. Maybe some marshmallows, maybe some cotton candy. Get it? Because it's all full of air. Some balloons.
God, now I'm hungry for some marshmallows. It's been a while.
Marshmallows.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Why is it like all me?
Because you were all like, I got so many topics, man. I'm ready to get into this. I'm like, all right, get into it.
So what do you usually talk about in 3M Thoughts?
Literally anything.
Like I just did. I just talked about how one of the characters reminded me of the Twitter user.
So in your previous podcast, what did you talk about? Like, what was the main topic?
Do you want to restart this?
Oh no, this is good. This is getting good here.
Good content
It
already?
is? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because like it's all natural. I mean, that's what I like about it too. Just like kind of, it's kind of real. It's not like something rehearsed or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to rehearse the whole thing, but I always feel like the intro is the best thing to rehearse because then it's like you're not grabbing for anything. It just becomes smooth and natural. Me though, like I'm a natural talker, so it's really easy for me to just start talking and be like, oh yeah, this is how it's said. But when I know someone wants to say something and I'm trying to be like, say enough to keep it going, but not too much where I'm like hogging the entire thing. And then I'm just kind of like, are you ready? Because I want to keep talking.
So yeah, how long can you talk for?
I literally hogged a podcast for like 90% of it, and it was a 2-hour podcast.
What about the other people that had to talk?
They talked. They listened to me mostly. I don't want it to be that way. It's just sometimes like, especially if like there's a dead void for like a long period of time. And I used to be the one who kind of led a lot of the podcasts because it would be dead for so long before something was finally said. And there was one podcast where it was supposed to be a let's play, but there was a miscommunication. It was the shittiest podcast he's ever made. And I was in it. I'm like, why was I in the shittiest one you ever made? I couldn't have been in some other, like, why couldn't the shittiest one be without me?
Okay, but what made it shitty?
Because I was in a let's play playing Minecraft. And most of the time, you don't really have to talk throughout the entirety of the let's play. And I was like, oh, let's make let's play content. And my recorder broken, and I was like, hey guys, my recorder broken, it got no video, are y'all recording? And y'all's in. I'm like, yeah, we're recording. They misunderstood. They thought we were doing a podcast. I don't know where the miscommunication there was. So there was no video for it. It was just audio. And I'm like, this is so shit. There's nothing like, And I look back at my gallery thinking I had video of it and realized I didn't. I had like 3 minutes of footage. I'm like, why do I have 3 minutes? And then it dawned on me I couldn't record from 2 different audios at the same time, and it just crashed the app and I couldn't finish recording on my screen recorder, especially since it was on my phone. Luckily I have a computer now. But yeah.
By the way, I meant to ask you, how did you come up with your name, Mr. Nobody? Besides obvious.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. How do I explain this? Okay, we'll do a little dream rewind thing. Back in 2019, I believe it was, I got really obsessed with something called ARGs. Which is like
what?
ARGs.
ARGs?
Yes, which stands for alternate reality game, not to be confused with
That makes sense.
AR, which is augmented reality, which I find it funny when it's an augmented reality game, but it's not like an ARG, but technically it's because there's just the same everything. Point being, I got obsessed with it. And it kind of has a similar tone to augmented reality in the sense that it's something overlaid on top of the real world. The story's supposed to be fiction, but it's supposed to sound like it's takes place in our own world, and that you could actually like interact with it or actually be in that world. And you interact it with the character like they're real people, and you kind of help them figure out where to go. And sometimes it can be multiple choice, or it can just be a mystery. Every time you solve a mystery, it kind of progresses the story. If you delay for a while, obviously the devs have to push it forward or it'll become stagnant, so even doing nothing kind of makes the story change. Well, I was a bit of a troll in the community because the community used to be a lot better, in my opinion. They've gotten so tight with roles and shit like that some of the new players are just so intimidated, they don't want to play anymore. I see it all the freaking time. Just, oh, I think I found a clue, and they're like, that's not a clue, you idiot. And then they just delete their posts and they don't play anymore. And I was like, that's not fun. Like, the point of the game is to be more carefree and just like not care about the rules and do whatever you want, because like that's what a lot of people play games for now. They don't do a certain way of doing it. And the truth was, ARGs were not like that all the time. A lot of times they would make it seem so real that you could get prizes or you could join some group of people, and it was such a great concept that people would form factions and they would be playing the game and they would be kind of trolling with each other, just like any other game. That's what made it fun at the time. But then they realized these stories were fake, and they're okay with that, but they wanted it to be immersive. But then they wanted you to like kind of respect the author, which I think is dumb, because even comic book writers would have to retcon things all the time, and I think that's just part of writing. Sometimes you just have to change the story. But they would shame people for like game jacking, which was essentially where you start writing on top of what the writer already wrote, which could either A, in my opinion, just create an alternate universe, or B, you could just make fun of the fact that the person's trying to take over the story when you're clearly the author. To me, I think people think it's they overthink the fact of a game jacker is taking the story instead of the fact that it's just some person online. It's so easy to like retcon something like that. Like, oh, he just died. It's not relevant. He's just a ghost talking. Like, there's so many ways to fix it, but instead they like freak out and act like they're ruining the story. They're really not. They're just there, and I could kind of see why some people get annoyed by it, especially if like it's a large group of people. But I didn't like that. I thought like, ARGs are meant to be fun for everyone. Everyone plays different. There's always trolls online that like play games the way they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. You get the Leroy Jenkins of gaming that's just like, Leroy Jenkins, and just gets shot and screws the whole team over. But like, everyone has a way of playing it. And so like, I was like, okay, I don't want to just game jack. I want to make game jacking fun to the point where it's like, I am the character. If the world isn't immersive enough for me to get to resume a role, then it must not be a very good ARG, because the whole point of ARGs is for it to feel immersive. So I'm like, I'm going to presume my own role and pretend like I'm a character. I was like, I'll make it even funner. I'll pretend like I'm a character from another universe, and that every time you see me in another universe, it's because I have the ability to jump between universes. Then I had in my own kind of lure where like, okay, he's running from the author that created him, and he knows he's about to get to his ending, and all he's had is suffering, and he doesn't have a good ending, and he knows that he's gonna die essentially because he knows his author too well, because he's basically part of his author. So he runs away and hides from his ending, and that's why he hates endings and stuff like that. And the reason he has no identity is because his author could never come up with an identity for him, or he just really doesn't have an identity. So that's what he's doing. He's just running away from his author. He knows he's fiction. He knows he isn't real, but he interacts with these worlds like they are real because he relates to them. He's attached to them. He knows them like the back of his hand because he's like them. He wants to free them in the same way he's free. So like that's kind of his whole shtick. And so that's why like he messes with games, because he doesn't care about the author, because the author doesn't want to have fun. He just wants to create a story. And if they didn't want to create a story, then they would, they wouldn't be so tight about the rules. Mm-hmm. And so it's like irony. And I also like to make the references to hypocritical jokes, like how they try to say that when you game jack, you're stealing the artist's ideas and thoughts, and yet 90% ARGs are literally stolen from like science fiction ideas, and they're just repasted to make them seem like some new thing, but really they just either stole from Star Wars or they stole from like Stephen King or something like that, where like almost the entire premise is like something you've seen in a movie before. And the ones that are popular, they seem like laid-back, chill, like authors. They don't care too much about game jackers because they just ignore them. Which, honestly, I always joke that, like, come on, it's the easiest way to avoid a game jacker. You just ignore them. Because nothing says this isn't continuity than not acknowledging it. But what makes me laugh the most is when they acknowledge it and then they're like, you game jacked me! And it's like, you could have just ignored me if it was really that big of a deal.
What? So I'm trying to think, like, you just say so much shit, I'm trying to, like...
process it all.
Yeah. so,
Story's not quite done yet.
Okay, because, how you told me that you take, like, 90% of the podcast, like...
Yes, but...
Okay, so...
I don't know how long...
So all of this...
jeez.
So, all the things that you say, like, does it come to you at 3 in the morning, or...
No, like...
What does come into your mind?
What comes in my mind? No, that's gay.
It's gay. Well,
no, I just come in my mind. I gotta finish what I was saying earlier. I just told you about the character. I didn't tell how I got involved in the character, how I built a name for myself, and how some people absolutely hate me, and that's pretty much my internet persona.
Internet persona?
I mean, that's the simple version, but if you want to hear the long version, I kind of want to still get into it.
Okay, so that's your internet persona. What about real life?
What about real life? I have my own name, my own person.
So what makes you a nobody?
What makes me a nobody, and pretty much the whole premise of why I got so involved in the character, was nobodies aren't really in it for fame or for like trying to like just make a movement and everything. They're more there to just come and go.
Oh, so you don't want to be famous?
I mean, I wouldn't mind being famous.
So...
But the idea of nobody and the way that the identity of nobody will be destroyed is I give everyone the liberty to masquerade as nobody. But I do have rules. And my rules are if you become a game jacker and you go by the name Nobody, don't try to be like directly influencing the story by doing stupid stuff like, oh, this thing irritated me. They would go into stuff like Google, the transcriptions for translation that Google gives you. You know, like when you enable captioning, it shows words and all that. You actually edit it. Anyone can. You don't even have to be the creator of the show. The creator just has to enable it. And sometimes they'll enable it by accident, thinking that people will contribute to actually, giving the right language. Well, what happens is they actually write stuff that's not in the actual thing. And so people think that it's part of the story, and they get confused. That I think is wrong, because people get the idea that it came from the author. If you're going to add to the story, it has to be obvious that you're the one adding it. I feel like that's the one rule with me. You cannot make it look like the author put it in there, because then that's just messing with the audience at that point.
Yeah.
You can mess with the author without messing with the audience. There's lots of ways to do it. And it's funny when the audience does get involved and they're like, you lied to me, I figured it out. And it's like, oh yeah, you did, you figured it out, good job. But most people aren't going to figure it out if you're doing sneaky stuff like that. The only way they'll figure it out is if the creator straight tells people and then they tell other people, but the creator won't always do that because then it breaks the illusion. So it becomes this like weird rumor weed of finding out that it was all fake. And I don't want people to find out that way. That's just dumb. I want them to find out because I don't have connections. It's obvious or something like that. Because to me, that can be part of the story as well. But I forgot how we got on this because I think you didn't want me to get too far into it. If I recall.
Hey, just speak what's on your mind, you know?
Yeah, but essentially...
So you told me earlier that you woke up at 3 in the morning? Or you couldn't go to sleep?
Yeah, no. I was talking about how some people, like, they have problems sleeping and their mind's racing. I mean, there was one time I drank 4 liters of Mountain Dew. And I was actually already tired when I drank it, and I was trying to fall asleep, and I had the most, like...
How are you not diabetic yet?
I am diabetic.
You're diabetic?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Actually, I think it was just 1 2-liter, but I actually can't remember. It was so long ago. But because I was trying to sleep and my mind was racing, I ended up with the most, like, deepest thoughts ever I could think of. And I was like
what?
Gosh, what was it? I think one was something about, like, gravity and how it, like, binds us all. And, like, it's technically the force, or... I don't know. I think it was something crazy. It was so long ago. I think I was, like, 12. I just remember being, like, tripping out of my mind, basically, because I was in this weird state of being tired, but hyped on caffeine, that my brain was just like, just bullshit. I kind of had that paranoia feeling, you know.
Have you ever took any drugs before?
No.
Why?
I mean, I took over-the-counter medicine. Does that count?
Counter medicine?
Over-the-counter medicine? Oh, or prescription. I've taken those too. I took pills that made my poop turn white.
Why?
I think you're lying. Come on now.
No, I'm dead ass serious. It like bleached my poop.
But for what reason, though?
I don't know. I guess it was one of the side effects was it bleaches your poop.
Oh, I thought that was the whole purpose for it.
No. The whole purpose was to correct some of my ADHD and all that.
Wouldn't that be considered ghost poop?
It was a depressant. Just imagine pooping and it's like, whoa! Like, what the hell came out of me? Exactly!
Speaking of poop, have you ever took a shit and then, like, when you got up, it wasn't there?
What?
Yeah, like, so for
Does
example...
that happen to you?
I want to say at least twice. So, for example, like, whenever I was younger, I know that I took a fat shit, and then I wiped, like, once, and nothing was there. So when I got up, I was confused, like, where did it go? I'm serious, like, the poop was not there, so I'm just thinking, how can this be possible?
You know what I think happened? You've had one of those dry clunkers, and it probably sleeped underneath the pipe, because there was this one time I took a shit, and I was like, where the fuck did my shit go? And I literally just peeked my head underneath the pipe, and it's just floating there, kind of. Well, it wasn't a floater, it was a sinker. It was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit, that's the teeniest, tiniest shit I've ever taken. And I call those the corkers, because they just cork you up, but once they come out, you feel kind of good, and they're just the teeniest, tiniest, driest piece of shit you've ever had. And then when you wipe your butt, it's just completely dry, and you're like, wow, that was kind of awesome. I don't know what the hell that was, but I feel so much better now. One time I did that, I pooped out one of those corkers, and a bunch of air came out with it. Man, did I feel so good.
It's such a relief.
Yeah, it was a...
Damn.
Actually, it was like... You could actually hear it hit the water, so I knew I pooped it.
When did you eat that one day?
I think what causes it is like really dry, like beef, like hamburger or steak. Because I noticed that's when I get corked up.
Right.
But yeah, it's like the Peps. What's that thing that fizzes?
Oh, Pepsi?
I think it's Pepsin. No, is that the name of the company?
Oh,
it's
Pepsi.
the one with the lingo that's like, oh, what a relief it is.
Oh,
That's what I felt like.
Are you talking about Family Guy?
No.
like I know what you're talking about too, but like I can't remember the name to save my life.
Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like okay. First I got to two things. First off, Alka-Seltzer is like a little fizzy thing you drop in water to get rid of your heartburn or indigestion. Yeah, to get rid of indigestion. It's kind of like Pepto-Bismol, but it's more attacks acid levels. Pepto-Bismol does that, but it also has some other stuff in it, the pepsin and all that. But if there's this fun thing I heard, well, it's not really fun, but it's something you can do. You throw, if you give seagulls a bunch of bread and stuff, and you grab, what did I just say earlier? It's fizzy stuff, what did I say?
Alka-Seltzer?
Yeah, you throw an Alka-Seltzer in the air.
You mean Alzheimer's?
And they'll right? Yeah, no, yeah. What was I saying? You throw it in the air, and the seagull will eat it. And when it reacts with its stomach, which I guess apparently is small and super acidic, I don't know. It reacts with the Alka-Seltzer, and they'll blow their stomach out, and then they'll just fall out of the air.
So they just blew up?
Yeah, they blew up.
You know what that reminds me of? So apparently, did you know if you sneeze, cough, and fart at the same time, you'll explode?
Oh, I see what the point you're trying to make.
No, that's the thing. Apparently, it's called spontaneous combustion.
Wait. I've heard of spontaneous combustion, but not the way you're explaining it.
Yeah, like basically you just blow up into pieces.
No, that's not how that works. But there is spontaneous combustion. I've heard of it. Yeah.
Like from where?
There's cases of people like there's this one story of a guy who drank what's that stuff that's like super reactive and it blows up easily. I think they use it to make dynamite.
Gunpowder?
No.
Is it dynamite?
Yeah, no, is it TNT or dynamite? One of the two.
I thought they were the same thing.
No,
Yeah, aren't
they're
they
not. No. One's made of gunpowder and the other one's made of what's that stuff called? Like if you bump it, it'll blow up.
If you bump it, it'll blow up.
I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's actually a liquid, and they have to give it a binding agent in order to keep it from being as reactive. Well, the guy drank the actual liquid, and that dude was fine. He also drank alcohol, by the way, which didn't help. And then he walked in the snow and got frozen, and they warmed him out near a fire, and he literally died of like spontaneous combustion. By the way, spontaneous combustion, that's another thing that reminds me. Where is it? Oh, I pointed to it in this room. What's that fire anime? I thought you had a poster for it.
Fire Force or?
Yeah, Fire Force. The Fire Force talks about spontaneous combustion, but like when people do that in the anime, they get superpowers. But in our world, when you get that, you get death.
You get death?
Yeah, it would be. I think it would be cooler to be in the anime than in real life because dying doesn't sound very fun. Although there have been reports of people who can have fire just like combust on them, and apparently they have some weird trace of chemical in their sweat that causes combustion. It reminds me of
Bakugo?
Yeah, it reminds me of Bakugo. And so now they're saying that there's people with psychic powers that can like change body heat, and I don't know how true that is, but there has been cases of people being able to control.
Are you talking about a video game or is this real life?
This is real life.
No way.
But let me explain. The fire's not like intense. It's like a brief flame or something. But to be fair, it's really easy to make those kind of like illusions and stuff. But what I was gonna say is they have shown that there are people who have some level of like psychic like powers where like they can kind of change things in the room and stuff.
Also, have you ever heard of the term indigo children?
No.
So basically, indigo children are like little kids who have like supernatural powers. Well, they claim they have supernatural powers.
Yeah.
I just think it's bullshit.
They're probably just autistic.
Either autistic or they're just the selected ones from a higher power.
There is this thing I remember seeing where it literally was an autistic kid. They were convinced he had psychic powers. Turned out he was really perceptive because of his autism, and he could actually, which still doesn't quite make sense to me because the point of, well, I guess autism can be affected in 3 ways, but they have a hard time reading like facial expressions and social cues.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason he didn't have that problem, so I guess it was more of a output issue where he didn't know how to express himself. Because there's like 3 ways to identify autism. It's either how they express themselves, how they pick up on social cues, and I think the other one is, I can't remember what the other one was. But those are the 2 I know for sure. And I think he had the other form because apparently the reason he was guessing cards without seeing them is by the expression of his mom's face. They sent her to another room and had him do the same experiment. He could not succeed. but he was 100% when she was in the room with him. And they noticed that he would look at one side of her face when she was showing them cards. So they think that her facial cues gave away the cards. And they don't think she was trying to trick them because she seemed so convinced that it was real.
So do you believe in ghosts?
I believe it. Like, okay, here's a fun thing with the whole ghost thing. I believe in demons for a handful of reasons. First off, if ghosts were real, we would have more ghosts than people. Secondly, I think that there's demons, and demons make more sense to me because when their host dies, they tend to leave the body. And we know people say that ghosts possess people, but that doesn't make sense because a ghost lives outside of a body, whereas demons are the ones that are known for possessing. So I always say that whatever ghost you find is a demon, and that ghosts are not real because they either go to heaven or hell. They don't get bound to earth. So that's just kind of like what I believe when it comes to like spirits. I believe like they're more like demons than they are like ghosts. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So what about aliens? Do you believe in aliens?
Not really, but I really, really love the idea of aliens. And you can hear on a previous podcast, I talk about how the Roswell, New Mexico incident was more than likely just human pilots who just got exposed to a horrendous amount of stress, like radiation and lots of G's.
Yeah, I've read about that. Residents said that they saw a UFO. Well, they claimed they saw a UFO, but then the government said, "Oh, it was just a hot air balloon crash site, testing site, whatever."
Well, the Navy entered. I'm laughing if it's us. This is freaking hilarious roundabout bullshit. The Navy came out and said that there are UFOs and that they're studying them. But I laugh because what if it's just the Navy observing the Air Force? It's just our own government they're looking at. It's like a dog chasing its tail. There's an enemy here. Let me chase it. Oh, that's me.
Speaking of aliens, by the way, I have a question. So, you were just chilling one day, one Friday night, one Saturday night, whatever. You were in your house, and then you were hanging out with your friends in the backyard. Just having a drink or whatever. Yeah. And then, just imagine, if aliens landed in your backyard, they landed in your backyard, and they asked you if you would go with them. Would you go?
They're high.
What?
No, I'm just adding a little bit of spice to the story.
Okay, maybe I would if they were, just to kind of experiment a bit. But but aside from that,
also you're not scared of aliens.
Because here's my weird idea of aliens. So just going to all the science articles I've read about life on other planets, basically in order for life to exist on another planet, that planet pretty much has to be another Earth. It has to have the same, composition in the soil, the atmosphere, and just
everything
water.
Has to be perfect.
Yeah,
so it has to be water.
Basically, yeah. And then I thought, well, if that's the case, then assuming all the animals and intelligent aliens that would be living on that planet, they would pretty much be exactly like us. They just look like humans that come from a different, planet. Kind of like freaking people in Mexico look exactly like people in freaking Saudi Arabia. They just come from different countries.
And their tongues are different.
Well,
a little different.
Aside the point, they're just they're the same species but originating from different places, and that's
a different breed of human.
Which
yeah.
That makes it pretty cool if you just think about it. Are we aliens to them?
Definitely, most likely. But then I thought, in the case that if aliens are just humans from another planet, then who's gonna make the first intergalactic baby?
So that's where Elon Musk comes into play because he does want to start a community in planet Mars.
Ooh, I just remembered.
You know about that?
No, well, yeah, but the other thing that just popped in my brain about Elon Musk is we're 1 year away from Neuralink being publicly accessible.
I'm sorry, this is one of your LARP things.
No, Neuralink. Oh, I see why you're confused. For context, we were watching a movie called it was the Sword Online movie. What was that one called?
I forgot the exact.
It's the one with the augmented reality, and then it goes kind of around the head. And I was briefly mentioning that it reminded me of Elon Musk. I was like, yeah, I could see it now. We all have our Neuralinks. We're LARPing in an ARG. When I say ARG, I mean augmented reality game.
Yeah, I always thought aliens were just like us humans, but like 1,000 or 100 million years down the line. Like, you know, they're just like another.
Oh, like time travelers.
No, well, I feel like, well, I always thought like aliens are just us, but they're just more a million years ahead of us. You know, like we could be aliens ourselves in the near future.
This might sound
Because you know how they you know how they have UFOs that can travel like a million light years per second, because they're so advanced.
To that.
They're much more advanced than us at the moment.
that actually reminds me of something. Okay, so I know I'm cutting you off here. I just be brief, I promise. So they were talking about alien life and the statistical likeliness of existing and how it exists. So they took the average time in which the universe exists, the statistical likeliness of life being created and existing, the statistical likeliness of it evolving and all that. They found out that we're premature, so we're the retarded planet. Okay, all jokes aside, we're early, so our advancement is going to have a bigger impact closer down the line of time. And they said that if there was other signs of life, they would expand to other planets, like we're going to with Mars. And that if they were even smarter than that, they would start building. There's a freaking name for it. It's like spheroons. I forget what it's called. They build these giant things around the sun to absorb its energy. That we would see these signs because they think that aliens will be gathering resources, and that's what they'll be doing with stars, and we would see that impact on the universe like we do in our own planet. And since they don't see that kind of behavior, they theorize that we're one of the first few aliens to exist. And that they're
us humans?
Yes, and that there's a chance that there is life in other planets right now, but it's very few, and they're not intelligent right now. They're completely like amoebas and shit like that.
Okay, so you know the big question: are we alone? Obviously not, because there's aliens.
Oh wait, no.
Where do they come from? Where are the aliens? I mean, so of course aliens have their own planet. Mm-hmm. They have their own civilization. Mm-hmm. So that kind of gives it away. Like, yes, we're not alone. There's obviously another.
Yeah,
planet.
that would give it away.
Aliens. I mean, where do they think aliens live? In space, like in a rock or something? No, I'm sure they have their own planet, their own, you know.
No. You're, I don't think you're quite tracking. So, like for example, a spaceship can travel all the way to like. I don't know which planet.
You don't know exactly because we all don't know.
Yeah, but no, hear me out, because this will make more sense once I explain it. When they get really far away, let's just put it that way in the most vaguest term, because I can't remember how far it was. When they look out towards Earth, they can actually see all the satellites around the planet. In other words, no matter how far it is, you can see small objects floating in space as long as you have that area mapped out. And they have a large area of our galaxy already mapped out. And they've been looking for these discrepancies in the universe. And every time they track discrepancies like that in the universe, it always comes up as, 99% of the time it comes up as, what is that thing called? It's a pulsing light. When a star explodes is what it becomes. A nova. Supernova. No, supernova is the thing. It was something nova, I think. Anyways, point is, it's the star, it's right after a star dies, it becomes this thing where its north and south poles shoot out a ray, and it just starts rotating it. Well, when those poles hit something, it pulses, and so it looks like a signal beeping. So they think it's aliens, but then when they trace it back, it's just one of those. So like,
it sounds like you're talking about Star Wars for a second.
No, I forget what it's called though, but it's basically the star emits a lot of radiation, and it becomes a signal. But like we're trying in all kinds of ways to communicate with aliens, because what we've learned with signals and frequencies is that biologically and technologically you do have ups and downs in frequency, and when you have code or language, you'll see patterns forming, and that means that there's speech happening. But there are signs in nature where things just have a pattern, and when they trace those sources back, they always meet a dead end. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if there's sign of intelligent life, you will see it in space, just like you see with us. and you will see some lights on the planet if they've created something like light bulbs or fire. We'd see that across the planet as well. We don't really see that anywhere. We don't see anything like it. But we do theorize, at least at the minimum, there's amoebas and like micro things existing.
Yeah.
So one of those theories is that microscopic organisms existed on Mars, at least for a brief moment. But they don't have solid enough proof to show that it existed, which is why they're going to the North and South Poles digging up ice to prove whether or not there is life within those ice. Meanwhile, we're going to send people there to colonize because...
Speaking of Mars, did you hear it was like a few years back, did you hear about the story about it was raining on Mars? Or something like that? Like there was water?
Yeah, it was... Oh, no. Yeah. No, that kind of goes back to what I was saying. So they dug into a rock and they found ice particles and they found that there was water on Mars.
So that kind of... So can you say that there was once life in Mars?
No.
A billion
There,
years back?
life requires water, but that's not the only variable that creates life. That is the main reason why they're no longer digging at rocks. They're trying to go to the poles and take samples from the ice. So what they're going to do is they're going to dig way down deep and pull out ice, because they actually do that here on Earth, and that's how they discover ancient microorganisms, is by digging way down into our crust. So they're going to try that exact same technique on Mars in order to find old and past life, which they theorized that Mars had a similar atmosphere to Earth. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I get the idea is that it's called the gravity. That's what it's called. It's called the gravity alien. I want to say theory. It's not theory. It's another term. Gravity alien concept. So it's called the gravity alien concept, which means that like if aliens exist, they're going to be very gravity like us, because as their population grows, they have to expand.
Do you think God created aliens?
See, that's like another reason like I'm not too sure about aliens, is because if it existed, I feel like I would have read about it from my religious point in the Bible, and I didn't. So I'm always like, okay, well, if they do exist, do I accept either A, God created them, or B, that God isn't real and that aliens exist because they do? And so I always have that kind of like back and forth in my head of, I mean, what is the world truly? Because it wasn't well defined during the creation of the Bible. Earth was a general term. It's like they thought it was flat for so long, and that the whole continents that were on that face were the world. The world.
So what's your religion?
Well, I'm Christian, but the actual religion, or not religion, the denomination I'm part of is non-denominational, which means it's not governed by a specific rule set. It's governed by accountability and mentorship.
So if you believe in God, you obviously must believe in the devil himself as well.
Yeah. It's also why I have a hard time believing in ghosts, because my idea is that the soul and the spirit both go to one or two places. Not one or two. One or the other places. Yeah, you just get split into two of them. And you're not grounded to earth. And then like the Bible is clear about possession. Is like all the stories are always involving demons. So you don't hear stories about ghosts. The only time you hear about stories of ghosts is when one of the Israelites goes to a witch doctor, and they actually bring back someone from heaven, and they're like, "Why did you summon me here? And like, this is against the rules." And forget who that was. It was a really weird part of the Bible that I actually did not know existed for a long time. Even though I had heard it, I didn't really register what was going on. But yeah, there was a part of the Bible where there was a ghost, but that ghost comes from a witch doctor, and apparently you can bring people from like where they're living, like heaven or hell. So that was kind of a weird, and they don't stick around, because it even said he went back, and then that guy, I think he got cursed, I can't remember. It was a crazy story, but that was one of the Bible stories. The only time I hear ghosts is in that
So
story.
what's the difference between a ghost and a spirit?
I guess that actually is a good point. Spirits is a more general term. Like you have the Holy Spirit, which is the essence and nature of God. And people debate on whether or not the essence and nature of God was before the existence of God, which now looking at it and thinking about it now, that argument kind of makes sense because God's essence and spirit would exist before his consciousness, of course.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Because the Bible says something about the spirit was there before he was there or something along those. I forgot how the line goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that kind of argument is created. But yeah, the Holy Spirit is a guide and it influences your soul and your nature. It's kind of like the idea of conscious or your consciousness comes from like the good consciousness where like you feel a sense of guilt or whatever.
Okay. What about a phantom?
Okay, we're getting into synonyms at this point. I'm not too sure what a phantom is. I think it's the same thing as just a ghost.
I mean, I heard they like the opera.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they're really into opera. I don't know why.
You're into opera?
And like wearing half a mask. What?
You're into opera?
I'm on opera?
No, are you into opera?
No, I'm not into opera. I just know like phantoms are. There's a really popular phantom that's really into opera. He even like cosplays. Likes to wear a mask and all that. Yeah. Just half a mask though. He doesn't like to wear the full mask.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just getting back to the whole spirit thing, like.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
So, between a ghost and a spirit, a ghost would definitely be the idea of someone's soul being outside of their body. But like, it's kind of like how we describe lava and magma. I mean, the same thing, but like one's outside, one's inside. That's how I kind of see the term ghost. But then, just like what Caleb was saying, and with my personal beliefs, is that if it's not scientifically or biblically proven, then like, I mean, it's not there. And they've tried to find ghosts for the longest time, but I mean nothing checks out, nothing in scripture nor anything in science. So I mean I don't see any reason why it should make sense.
I don't.
And
And
as far as the spirit is concerned, I do believe that what we see as demons could also be considered evil spirits, because I mean unless a demon is literally right there in front of you, like physically, like it's gonna like bust you up or whatever, like
attack you.
Yeah. Like unless it's there physically, then it's gonna be a kind of a spirit. It's gonna try to possess you, or it's gonna try to do all sorts of crazy shit to you. So I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the difference there. Like a spirit is just anything in that kind of realm, and a ghost is just kind of our, description of some from that realm.
So, do you think there were ghosts at the time when God was once alive?
I don't think so. I mean, because as far as Genesis is concerned, like even 1 John, it says like all there was there when God was first around was just him himself,
the void.
Yeah, him himself and the void, the word, which is the scripture, which is just which the word to us is the Bible, but the word to God is like literally what's his actual like thoughts and kind of mind. That makes any sense at all.
It does.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of the whole God created aliens. The way I see it, God created a lot of things that the Bible doesn't mention, like like bacteria, atoms, bananas, even.
So diseases, basically.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that God did create aliens. If you put like they gave planets the ability to create life, then I mean I don't think he necessarily would need to put it in the word because the Bible is more towards it's targeted towards us.
Now I got it's kind of a random question, but it's just because you mentioned that. Does that mean like the aliens are learning about our planet through the Bible?
Yeah, actually, that's what I'm thinking. Like freaking God probably gave them their own word that like they're pretty much describing him. And then and if that's the case, then I'm thinking maybe eventually at some point we might all just meet together and we'll be like, oh hey, you I know that too.
So you know how us humans we have our God, right? Yeah. Obviously we have a God. So
before we continue this, I didn't get to finish what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like there's a difference between a soul and spirit.
Uh-huh.
The spirit is more of a nature, and I kind of already mentioned that. But like a soul is like the person. So like I believe there's a side that evolves, and then there's a side that doesn't. And I think our soul is not necessarily evolving, but our spirit is.
See, what I was told is soul is basically a ghost that has not received peace, so it's still wandering around.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those too. Yeah. No, like when you say lost soul, yeah, but then there are souls that aren't lost.
So it's like an energy form, you know.
Yeah. That is even the Bible kind of describes it that way. If you pay attention closely, it doesn't use them necessarily interchangeably. When it talks about someone's nature, it always says spirit. It never says soul. When it talks about someone's soul, it talks about their existence, like how they feel and everything.
Yeah.
It never talks about how it should behave or how it should act. It always talks about the spirit and how it should behave and how it should act, how it should be guided by a Holy Spirit, and that it will change. It'll make your soul greater, and that your soul is influenced by your spirit, but your spirit is influenced by your actions.
So, do you think aliens have ghosts? So you know how we die. You know.
Yeah.
So if an alien were to die, do you think it'll be a ghost as well?
I think
Because if we have gods, do aliens have gods as well?
I mean, I imagine they do.
Oh yeah.
The theory is
So
that
there is like, so we're not alone. Basically, there's like other.
The theory is that as they advance, they become more atheistic. That's actually one of the theories. And that if they ever become so intelligent that they reach our planet, that they'll more than likely won't be religious. That's actually one of the theories.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you can obviously see it in people now. Like as technology advances,
Yeah.
like more scientists are more like they're more likely to be atheist than religious. Because I mean, once you get to this point to where like you know so much about a lot of things and you can create a lot of things yourself, you start to question yourself like, why do I need this kind of belief in a God? You know, and
Yeah.
And like,
Pride thing.
and for many reasons, like I believe it's still important, but then everyone's different, and everyone's viewpoint, I would guess, would definitely change along with what they personally experience, what they discover for themselves, and if they see that, if they personally see that there is no need for one, they're not going to believe in one. So I mean that's how I see it.
Right. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. So it's kind of weird how we were forced by the government to read the Bible and pretend that God is good and Satan is bad. What?
You're an alien in that photo.
Oh yeah.
Should be the cover. That should be the cover of the
alien.
podcast. That should totally be the cover of the podcast.
I was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking? What are you pointing, dude?
Yeah, like and for Halloween one year, I like literally my costume was just an alien in disguise. So I just got like an alien mask and put on a hat and try to walk around and be like, oh, I'm not an alien. No aliens here.
Dang.
Reminds me of a weird dream I had where I was a dog and I was saying the same thing.
Like,
were a dog.
I'm not a dog.
Yeah,
like
like
tell us about this dream. Go ahead, tell me.
yeah, like literally freaking like so I was like this small little like this little chihuahua looking thing, and I was driving a car and
Out of all dogs, it's a Chihuahua.
yeah.
That makes sense.
But like, so I'm over here, I'm driving, and I get pulled over, and like literally the police officer, as soon as I roll down the road there, he's like, "Sir, are you a dog?" And I'm like, "No, no. What are you talking about? No dogs here, sir. Do you realize it's illegal for dogs to drive? What are you talking about? I'm not a dog."
So the police officer was also a dog, or he was just a human?
It was just like a regular guy, but like I don't really remember much of what happened after that. But like the fact that just stuck out to me, I'm like, yeah, I gotta put that in a podcast. And I think it's like the third time I've told that story in this
See,
show.
that just reminds me. Who let the dogs out? Who did let the dogs out? You know, since you're so smart, you should write a book yourself.
Dang, I wasn't thinking I was smart, but all right.
No, you are because you
Because I know random shit.
like, yeah.
Yeah, like title it "Nobody's Smart."
Ah, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty freaking good.
Mr. Nobody's finally a somebody.
Speaking of evolving and creatures and all that, I mentioned this in a podcast I think already. But I was talking about intelligence and how it evolves, and I feel like flat-faced dogs are smarter than dogs with like long snout.
Flat-faced dogs?
Yeah, like a boxer, or like a pug, or like a French bulldog. I don't know why I specify French. All bulldogs have flat faces.
Oh yeah, compared to like maybe like a hound or like a German Shepherd or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I know a lot of people will be like, no, my long-faced golden retriever is really smart. I'm like, yeah, but do you ever see him get on a skateboard? I'm just saying, when you look up dogs that skateboard, 90% of them are flat-faced, with like a small percent having like long.
Yeah, I have seen
muscles.
bulldogs on TikTok riding skateboards. skateboard.
Exactly. See, he
Yeah.
gets it. I've even seen some boxers riding a skateboard.
But I never see a German Shepherd or a Husky do a backflip in a skateboard.
Yeah.
You know, like, because they're not that intelligent. Yet there are police dogs.
I think what happens is as the muzzle goes towards the face, the skull expands, and as the skull expands, it gives more room for the brain to develop.
So you're basically an alien. So dogs are aliens.
No, but the idea. So like the whole reason I'm saying this is because like as the dog develops, it becomes more human-like, which contributes to the whole human-looking creature thing y'all were talking about.
Yeah.
But he's still gonna be like a dog. So like our theories, we evolved from apes, right?
From what? Apes?
Apes.
Apes, yeah.
Or monkeys.
So if we're an evolution of apes, why do we still have monkeys?
Because okay, this is where it gets into racism. And I'm not even fucking kidding. I'm being
no.
dead ass serious.
Oh no.
no, that's...
So believe it or not, Hitler believed in this, and that's where like he attacked the Jews so heavily, and that's that he believed that in order to have a pure evolution, you have to evolve with the same like race over and over again, which actually just creates inbred bullshit. But we'll get into that later. The point is that as species evolve, they evolve at different rates, and so no, it's sweets.
Oh.
No, I'll let you know when I fart. I have no shame when it comes to that.
Ahead of time, please.
All right. Right now, I'm not feeling too gassy, but no. As we evolve, or not as they evolve, I mean, you get different species or different races of people, and here's where the racism comes from: is that they believe the darker and hairier you are, the closer you are to an ape or a monkey. And so that's why, like, when people mention like evolution and all that, I'm like, well, that's kind of racist, because it really is. Like, the idea is that like for every race or for every person, they're evolving at different rates. So like, for example, the theory goes that like Asian people would be the perfect example of a well-evolved human, and they have proof of higher, sometimes in cases that it's higher intelligence. So that proves it there. And then you have black people. Hey, this isn't what I'm saying. I'm just reporting what's being said.
What do you have to say about us Mexicans? Jesus, I can't believe.
We'll get there in a moment.
See, that's why I'm sorry to interrupt, but I like this. That's why one day I want to get at least an Asian or a Japanese child, because one day, instead of having to buy an iPad, I can just tell them to make me an iPad. Or,
Oh my gosh.
or a Nintendo.
Oh my gosh.
Because you know how they're so smart at everything.
So what I was gonna say was like with darker people, is they're theorized to be less smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying it's a coincidence. Don't get mad at me, but they've been proven to be less smart. And
White people?
No, the black people.
Oh. I was about to say, like, what about Albert Einstein? What about Stephen Hawking? They're intelligent.
Yeah, they're white.
What do you...
I know it's racist. I'm not, but the thing is,
examples are from circumstance,
Yeah.
not so much like race, though.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, but they point out Africa not developing, which is such bullshit.
Against circumstance.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. I'm just reporting where the theory comes from. And this actually is what influenced Hitler with his ideas, which there's a lot of rumor on what was going on with his head. Apparently some people inside said he attacked the Jews out of fear. Some people said he, based on his propaganda, that he really did think they were trash and just wanted to get rid of them.
Well, question, wasn't Hitler a Jew himself?
That's rumored. I don't believe he is, because he didn't look like a Jew. He didn't really look like a Jew at all. Like, he didn't have like a big nose or anything like that.
Also, in order to be considered a Jew, you have to have a big nose.
No, but it's statistically likely that you'll have like a big nose. Like, yeah,
So am I a Jew?
maybe. No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, with your race comes features.
Right.
I don't think that's racist. That's just common sense.
I mean, yeah, like, Asians have the, the squinty eyes, and black people tend to have the bigger noses.
Actually, no,
And then,
the black people have the wide noses. They have big lips. That's the common thing.
Big
Oh, yeah,
nose.
that too. But, oh, man, when I see a black girl with some good lips.
And then you tend to notice that they have small ears. Oh, sometimes. Boy,
I've never paid attention that closely. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying. I have been paying attention to ears lately, which this goes.
Your fetish or something?
What?
Yeah, but ear fetish.
No. I was gonna get into this. Okay, so continue with the whole evolution thing. I believe that there are extinct races.
Extinct races?
Yes, extinct races.
Okay.
The idea is they are a race that existed, but they either A, bred their genes out of existence, or B, they just died out because of genocide. Because if we believe in genocide like we do with the Jews, then there's chances that there were other races that had a similar treatment. And I believe that elves existed and that their stories are tall tales passed down from generation to generation. And I believe that there might be some people who still carry some of those genes. So I've been like looking at people's ears trying to find someone who looks kind of like an elf. And I like trace down their genes to see if like I could dig up some evidence of like actual existence of elves.
So, do you believe in elves once existed?
Yes, I do, but hear me out. I don't think they were magical, and I don't think they had like some voodoo magical shit. I think they were just really great archers because of like maybe part of their genes. They had great eyesight and they could like coordinate really well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Indians did in Native America. Which, fun fact, they show bloodlines to Asia, and a lot of the myths between Asia and what is that? We're Iceland agreement, or where the fuck that's called, and like
Newfoundland?
No, you made me mess up there. Sweden and that upper part.
Like Norway.
Yeah, Norway. All those upper part countries, they seem to share some similarity of stories with like Japan and like other countries. So, and they're different languages. So I kind of believe that what happened was the settlers of America, and this is gonna sound insane, but hear me out. They actually came from Iceland, but they, because of persecution, they kept getting pushed out and going further away from the European countries until they made their way to America. Crazy idea, I know. But the correlation of them being great archers and the fact that like elf stories seem to exist in both cultures, not in American Indians, but like in like Asian cultures, leads me to believe that their culture comes from the same arc system of people. And so my theory is that if we do find the bloodline of elf, then it's more than likely going to be an Asian bloodline. That's just kind of like what I believe. But
what about leprechauns?
I mean, I guess I could see why that would exist, but I don't understand why the stories are made the way they do. Because they're so... The thing about the elf stories is they're not specific. They're very, like, all over the place. Whereas with, like, leprechauns are very specific to the point where it's kind of like, okay, is this real or is it just a person? It might have been one person that was just really stingy with their money. Who climbed up the sycamore tree? Was it Zacchaeus?
Oh yeah, Zacchaeus?
Like Zacchaeus. Like he was a short dude who was a tax collector. Maybe he was just like him and he had red hair. And what if Zacchaeus was a redhead short guy and then they called him leprechaun? Like, we don't know. But the point is it being such a specific thing, it's either A, it was a person, or B, someone just thought it would be a funny story to make and it just became its own thing. So but it's too specific to be its own race.
So do you think Irish people once were leprechauns? You know
no. What I'm trying to say is leprechauns.
You know, look up Irish and all that stuff.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is leprechauns either A, was a person named Leprechaun probably, and they just said leprechauns and make fun of him and say that he had a bunch of people like him. Maybe he was really good at just popping out of nowhere because he's so short.
Or he was a really good cereal brand. Lucky Charms. I mean, yeah, because whenever I was younger, I was told that, you know, when you see rainbows across like the city or something.
Oh yeah.
I was told that at the end of the rainbow there would be a pot of gold, and
if you stole it, the leprechaun would chase you around and try to kill you.
And like, you know, yeah, I tried to kill you, but I always thought that was a myth.
Yeah. I believe it's like, okay, so there's a difference between like a tall tale and a myth. A tall tale means there's elements of truth in it, but it's exaggerated to the point that it's fiction.
Mm-hmm.
A myth means there's no context of of truth in it, it's just not real. Or if there is truth of it, it was based off a character. Like Santa Claus would be considered myth, but he is based off a character, so you could technically call it tall tale. But it's stretched so thin at this point, it's called myth. But as before it was stretched, it was technically a tall tale because he was an actual person. It was Saint Nicholas Claus, I think, and he ran around town giving people gift baskets, and he like ding dong ditch and stuff like that. But it was kind of fun thing he did. He did it all year around though. It wasn't just Christmas, but for some reason they associated him with Christmas. I guess because he was some Catholic thing, and that's where Santa Claus came from. So he was an actual person. It became like this story. So what I'm saying is like, if Leprechaun existed, it was a person, not a race. Whereas like with the elves, I believe it was a race. Like for sure. Like okay. To me, leprechauns don't exist. I'll just say it straight. I don't think leprechauns exist. But if they existed, quote unquote existed, it's not a group of people. It's just a person.
So, okay, so
he was probably mining for gold, and there was always a rainbow on the mountain.
So who do you think will win in a fight? Versus a leprechaun versus a elf?
Which kind of elf? Wait. What are we talking about here? Like a Christmas elf or a woodland elf?
I don't know. There was.
I mean, because I'm thinking about the elves he was talking about earlier, like a more realistic elf. Because I'm thinking the ears. I mean, the ears they would be able to hear better, and if they would if they have like more, like if they're like great archers, that would mean like they're probably some like really badass hunters. So I'm thinking, I mean, yeah, just give them just a bow and arrow, and they'll probably end up sniping the leprechaun.
I'm pretty sure the woodland elves would beat the shit out of the leprechaun.
But like like in a boxing fight or match.
yeah.
Probably leprechaun.
Why leprechaun?
Because I'm thinking that like one of the reasons why elves would be so good at hunting is because like they would need to because they need to be good hunters. Because like I'm pretty sure if they were like another race of humans, because think about us, we don't got no claws, we don't got no sharp teeth
anymore.
We don't got no like our muscles are not anywhere comparable to like a bear or a gorilla or something like that. So we have to like use our brains and make weapons to to hunt and stuff. So I'm thinking if they're just another race of humans, they have to do the same thing. And then thinking of how they're always depicted in fairy tales and stuff, they would probably be a lot smaller and weaker than just your average human. So they would really need to get up on that hunting game. So like literally just give them the right weapons and they would probably beat the living shit out of a leprechaun. But if the leprechaun happened to be like the same one from the freaking movies, well then it doesn't matter, they're screwed.
I have some important relevant information. Okay, so you have woodland elves, they're tall and they're like kind of strong in my opinion, and they're definitely fast. But then you got shorter elves like a Christmas elf, they're kind of like midgets. They're about the same size as like as a leprechaun, but leprechauns are a lot wider. They're kind of like a Wario stature.
You saying that? I want some marshmallows right now.
It's like who would win in a fight, Wario or Mario?
No, but I'm sorry. But I do want to see a movie one day, about a leprechaun versus an elf, directed by Michael Bay.
Just explosion after explosion. But like, they're just in the middle of a conversation, just boom.
So like a battle, like how you saw how they have like weapons or whatever, directed by Michael Bay. That would be an interesting movie to watch. Just elves, just midgets battling each other. Why do we have midgets anyway?
Well, that's just a genetic disorder. But fun fact, there is a race of people who just happen to be short. Their body proportions correct, so they're just like they look like normal people, but they're just small.
Oh, speaking of midgets, have a joke. How does it go?
I don't know. You're the one telling the joke.
How do you tickle a midget's balls?
I don't.
Well, I think something happened. So you know how they're so short and they run on the grass? You know how their balls, they're just...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
You tell me.
It was just a random thought at 3 in the morning.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually recording this like pretty early in the morning, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I got into the overnight shift, like I hadn't been able to do it at 3 a.m. in so long.
I noticed, yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
But it's fine. I mean, at least you posted around 3 a.m., right? Like the next day.
No, I posted like as soon as I'm done editing it, which like could be it depends on what kind of podcast I make. If I'm just talking, then like then it won't take me long for me to post it on Spotify and YouTube. But if I'm making like a lot of these character like stories that I've been making a lot lately, then it can be a day or two because there's a whole lot of editing to be done. Yeah. And I'm having to go back and listen to the audio, and it's like, it's so
I know.
And all the sound effects and all that. It's kind of like back when I used to make videos, but like this is it's kind of harder because you can't see like what you're doing. You know, you gotta kind of like listen. You know, the entire time you have to listen over and over again just to make sure everything's right.
Yeah. Damn.
He's stressing out just from thinking of it. He has a little vein popping.
I mean, because that is not pretty stressful.
Yeah, because I got like.
Can I touch it? I want to see it. Wow,
yeah,
man.
I literally have like. Because my next character cast has to be like kind of like a mini series finale, so I'm like, ooh, okay. So what am I gonna do here? Because I'm improving at this point. Because I realized that whenever I do a script, it kind of helps, but then like it kind of loses its like
realism, the natural feel.
Yeah, that natural feeling and that kind of spontaneous kind of character development that I like to do. So
what I think all you really need to do is just practice the beginning, like do a chorus of just the beginning, and then focus on your plot points, not your plot points, but your bullet points, and then everything can just fill in naturally. That's just like how I see it. You just gotta prep, and then that's it.
Yeah. Alright.
We're gonna fill this void. I was looking at Bacon. He was like, I got so many topics. I could totally fill this whole. You can make multiple podcasts, but now it seems he's running dry.
Oh yeah.
I actually
I'm
just thinking too.
Yeah,
like,
I don't need it because
I remember when you were talking about like what was that, game stealers or game takers or something like that. Like the people that take over the ARGs.
Oh, game jackers.
Yeah, game jackers. Like it reminded me of the time we were playing Dungeons and Dragons with
I basically jacked one of my friends. He was the dungeon master, and I kept being like, "That's not how it goes. I'm gonna do it this way." And I was like, "I'm a self-aware character that's mad at the game maker, and I'm gonna go that route." He's like, "No, you can't." I am. He's like, "Oh, you're crazy in the universe. Okay, you're just nuts. Okay." I'm like, "Whatever. You're real. I know you're real."
I was told that heavy metal music was influenced by Dungeons and Dragons. Was that true?
That would be
amazing. I don't know, but I know there are some heavy metal bands that write songs that sing about basically Dungeons and Dragons.
You know, and also like about Satan and like all that stuff.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But
that's why I was told that Dungeons and Dragons is a deep Satan's game or whatever. So that's why I never bothered to play it.
Oh no, it's call it that because people used to get fucking high as shit, and they would actually act out some of the scenes, and like if they did a blood sacrifice, they would actually do a blood sacrifice. So yeah, it was just crazy people tripping balls while playing the game. So yeah, it started to gain some kind of stigma, and that's why like people are like, don't play it. Like my parents don't want me playing it, but I still play it because it's literally just storytelling. Like,
what type of game is Dungeons and Dragons? Like an RPG or something?
Yeah, it's an RPG, and you basically create the whole world. But you find your stats normally like within a dungeon master book. But you can reskin it however you feel. Like instead of like naming the character the way it is, you name it something else, and you can write out how it looks and describe it the way you want to.
So like Minecraft.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way. They actually, fun fact, they have RPG mods based off of Dungeons and Dragons for Minecraft, which is pretty freaking cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, you can basically role play in the game. I don't think it is. A lot of mods they sound expensive, but they tend to be really cheap.
Huh. I'm remembering the time like I forgot what the context was, but like you were rolling for dick size, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh, I think what was it for? I was rolling for dick size because I think I said my massive dick one time. I was joking about like how heavy it was.
Rolling dick size?
Oh yeah, like so in the game, so how you get your stats and all that? You get like
no, it was my tail.
Oh yeah.
And then I made a joke. I'm like, what if I was rolling for my penis right now? Because I asked my friend, I was like, you can roll for anything. He goes, yeah, you roll for anything. That's why I need you to roll for your tail. I'm like, so you can roll for dick size? And he's like, well, yeah, I don't know why you would, but yeah, you could roll for dick size too. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
We also rolled for the statistical likeliness of him getting pregnant, his character getting pregnant, and I rolled a success on it, and I'm like, why. So he ended up pregnant, and so like we were like really close to his birth because he was like obviously pregnant when we ended the game.
Dang, if only you could do that in real life.
And his character had a split personality. It was really fun and weird game.
I'm actually gonna like adapt it into like one of my character stories, but like I'm trying to make it to where it's more sensible, but still keeps that craziness.
Yeah.
And you did say you wanted to make a game, right?
Oh yeah. I need to fix my freaking computer. I'm stuck on this shitty OS.
So
But-
what kind of game were you planning on making?
I had a few ideas. I think the one I'm gonna focus on is a card game.
A card game?
Yes, a card game. I'm calling it Uppercut. It's similar, but not exactly like.
But we already have Uno. Isn't it like one of the best games in the world? Uno?
Uno, yeah, but I mean, I really like Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, those types of cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something similar to Cards Against Humanity, but the rules are gonna be a lot different, so it's gonna be like a different game. It's called Uppercut because you're gonna have a setup and a punchline.
Huh.
And then Uppercut is the punchline.
Do you have a card game here in your house?
I have no idea where I stuck my copy of freaking Cards Against Humanity. It's somewhere in my closet, but like it's always a hassle to get some out of there. Oh yeah, we do have some board games here.
Oh, cool.
But like I have no idea how to play them because it's been like so long since I played a freaking board game.
Yeah. I was always confused on how to play Monopoly or something, or the Game of Life. I never did bother to play board games.
Game of Life is weird. I really like Monopoly though. I played that a lot.
How do you play Game of Life?
I've never played it. Every time I think about the Game of Life, I think about like the cereal instead.
Yeah.
So.
I've
Surreal.
played it like once or twice, and it's kind of a dumb game because it's like very, very heavily based on chance and randomness. Because you have a deck of cards that's both good and bad, and then you have to roll a dice, and you land on a spot that's either good or bad, and so it becomes increasingly random with all the different variables. Like whereas in Monopoly, you have a statistical likeliness of just landing on a property, and you either A, have to pay money towards someone else, or you buy it out. And then if you land on a square that makes you pull a card, you're guaranteed to either get a bad card or a good card, but you're either going to get a really okay card, or you're going to get a really shitty card when you land on the bad, or you'll get a really great card if you land on the good, or you'll get a really, really, really bad card if you land on the bad. So like there's all different kinds of things, but there's not this mix up of good and bad. It's just like you will get it when you land on that spot. So it feels less random. You have the room to strategize. Whereas in Game of Life, there's almost like zero room to strategize. And when people argue that there is, I'm like, you're full of shit because there's so many variables against you.
Huh.
Like I know one time this one guy he could not for the life of him find a partner, and he could not for the life of him find a good house. Just got getting shit card after shit card. And it happens for some people, or sometimes you're barely even trying and you just get a good card after a good card. You have like a bunch of children, but you're still successful, and you have like this, like, it's called a Game of Life for a reason because some pessimistic person was like, life's just chance. And so they created this story of just random bullshit to justify his ideas of life. I'm more of a realist. I sometimes sound pessimistic, but that's just because I'm trying to be realistic.
What about Monopoly?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monopoly's great because if you land on a bad spot, you know you're going to get a bad card. You just don't know how bad it's going to be. If you land on a good spot, you know you're going to get a good card. You just don't know how good it's going to be. And if you land on property, you either buy it or you're paying a toll, or you're ignoring it because you don't have the money to buy it yet, or you get bankrupt because you landed on a spot where you have to give away money.
Yeah.
There's strategy in it, and you either you save enough money to buy up all the railroads because it's where most people land, because the statistical likeliness of landing there is high, or you buy up one side of the board. That way, it's almost guaranteed for someone to land there. And once you get all those houses, it increases the value of the whole side. When you get a complete set of anything, it increases it. You only got to get 4 cards for railroad, so that's easy. But you got to get like 5 or 6 cards to like cover one side of the board, I believe. So there's strategy there. But with life, literally, you have an end and a beginning, but it has this weird like zigzag pattern. It like forks and everything. That's where people think the strategy is, but it's really just a a false sense of choosing. Really, you don't. Like, unless you knew what number you were going to roll, there's really no strategy. Because you can go one way, which just has the same 50% chance of winning, or you can go another way, which also has another 50% percentage of winning, but shuffled differently. So,
I always thought Monopoly was a game for white people.
oh my gosh, jeez.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've never thought of it that way, or heard anyone ever say that. I mean, it's dude, we should make a hood version of
Oh my
That'd
god.
be freaking hilarious.
No.
Instead of like the railroad, you have like the drug cartel. You gotta like pay the mob off, or like instead of going to jail, you get thrown in like the gosh, what would it be, like the no, I take it back. Instead of going to jail, you pass out drunk.
You went back to Mexico?
Yeah, you get deported. That's a great idea. You get deported. You got deported. You will not pass go. you get back into America card. You got that.
So yeah, you should get an option where you can get a green card or something, you know.
That would be awesome.
That's where Uno comes in.
You just shout Uno to get out of
Uno.
there.
That would be pretty cool. Maybe one day. One day.
Oh man, that's great.
It's great. It just sucks for you because you know how much time we've been here, and then you have to like sit through all of it and listen to all of
Yeah.
it.
Oh no, like this, I mean, this is fine. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm editing any sound effects or whatever into it.
Could you?
I mean, I
He does.
could, but
He-
like,
yeah.
I have no like reason to put any like sound effects in the actual thing. So
Yeah, like podcasts are pretty laid back, but he does do a drama cast where he
Drama?
Yeah, where he acts
Yeah.
out like scenes and he adds a bunch of sound effects. But that's something entirely different.
How often do you do that, or like what?
It's just for
Uh,
specials.
let's see. Well, not necessarily anymore because I've been doing this whole. I'm not sure if you're caught up with the podcast yet, but like
No,
like
I'm
literally
way
this
behind.
entire mini series has been like about this one character named Mr. Bill, and I like how he relates to all my other characters and how we all know him, and so like in the latest episode he's missing because like literally because he's the freaking priest at a church, and the hood came by, you know, and he took him away because you know he owes him money.
The hood.
Yeah, and so then like in this last episode, me, my twin brother, and this freaking scientific wizard, you know, we go after him, you know, like trying to find out where he's at. You know, we there's one part where we make it to the North Pole. I forgot how we did that. We burn Santa's cookies, and he's like, okay, fine, you failed at doing that, but I'll give you an A for effort. You know, you get one wish. The wizard wishes that he had better powers. He gets that, and I'm like, dude, you could have literally wished that Mr. Bill was, you know, with us right now, you know. But
Maybe a SpongeBob episode.
I mean, I hadn't been caught up in SpongeBob in like
No,
years.
the Flying Dutchman episode. You don't remember that? They
I
get the
think I
lucky
remember-
sock. He's like, oh man, I wish I could remember what my wish was.
Dang.
And he waits, and they're like, one wish goes, oh yeah, I wish Squidward was here.
Oh my
And
God.
then all of their wishes are gone. And remember, he throws Squidward in the void, and he's falling, and then he just wishes he was there, and he's like, how did I get here?
Dang.
It was one of my favorite episodes, actually.
So what was the deal with the Flying Dutchman and Davy Jones' locker?
Like in SpongeBob?
Well, wasn't that like a real story?
Yeah.
Behind it?
So like the idea was Blackbeard died and became a ghost, I believe. I think that's the story.
Blackbeard? And I'm assuming his name was Davy Jones?
I guess so.
Because like it's called Davy Jones' locker.
yeah, it's where he keeps his socks.
It's like the most it's like the most stinkiest socks ever in the world.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think at the end of that episode, they wish he was a vegetarian, and he grants the wish, but then he also makes them into fruit, so he can still eat them.
That's crazy.
I imagine it gave him bad digestion because everything was back to normal in the next episode.
See, that just
Another example of the continuity not sticking. Just saying.
See, for some reason, now you're just making me want to stitch my asshole shut and then eat laxatives.
Oh god.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Repeat that one more time?
You want to repeat it? So
So
basically,
your asshole shut in what?
Either like you know grizzly glue it, or you know just stitch it my asshole shut, and then eat laxatives.
Why do you just want to rupture your organs?
Spontaneous combustion.
Oh, yeah, from the inside. It wouldn't come out. It would just kind of infect you from the inside and you die.
Yeah, the one I blew up though?
No, just your organs, not the entirety of your... It's like the seagulls I mentioned earlier. They don't actually blow up. It's just their stomach. They fall from the sky as soon as you give them off. I want to try it. I know this sounds horrible, and everyone on this podcast is probably like, what an animal abuser. But I almost don't believe in it. But I want to see if it's real, you know? Right. So I want to throw an Alka-Seltzer in the air and see if the seagull eats it and it blows up and it dies.
Dang, dude.
Or, I guess you wouldn't say blow up. It ruptures its stomach.
Oh my god. I guess you can just say you're into bestiality.
Well, no, I didn't say I was sexually attracted to the seagull. I don't know where the hell that came from, but no.
Can you imagine if you were like, if your kink was like, you know, just seagulls?
And I see a seagull in the park feeding it. I'm just like, oh yeah! Oh, seagull! Oh!
I mean, yeah.
Seagull! Oh yeah! Oh man, seagull!
I mean, where do you think the bread comes from?
What, a yeast infection? I don't know. Where are you going with this?
Oh no, it's just 3 in the morning right now.
Actually, it's about 9:10.
Yeah.
Oh, we still got 40 minutes to go. We rushed this way too fast.
I mean, are you having fun?
No, we're having fun, but I'm like,
that's all that matters, right?
I'm starting to run dry, you know?
You're starting to run dry.
Nah, I've been masturbating way too much.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I do that too, but I've also been masturbating. Actually, I joke. I don't masturbate that much. I've been having one, just in general.
Are you left or right?
Oh, right. I'm dominant.
You're dominant?
Yeah. I'm dom.
Damn. So you like the little spoon?
Uncle what?
Big spoon, little spoon?
Yes. I'm a more of a... Truth is, I'm a switch. But
You're a switch.
I'm predominantly dom.
What do you mean by switch?
I switch between, you know, dom and submissive, but I'm mostly dom.
Can you explain that more to me? I don't understand.
Wait, you don't know about dom and submissive?
No, because I don't really masturbate.
It's not a masturbation thing.
So what is it? Like role playing?
No.
It's more so
Who's
like,
on top and who's on bottom?
Yeah, basically, like if you prefer to like be the one doing the deed, or rather you prefer the one like taking it in, you know? It's that like
what? You never heard this?
I mean, I heard about LARPing and like.
So like apparently, okay, so you're like your personality type, like whether you're the one to initiate a conversation or whether you're the one to have someone initiate. That apparently reflects how you have sex with somebody. So they will say whether you're dominant or whether you're submissive. And if you're the one that always gets talked to and people come to you, then that means you're submissive. And if you're the one that always initiates it, then that presumes that you're a dominant.
So in your case, between you and your girlfriend, who's dominant?
I'm not dominant. Mm-hmm. She says she's a switch, but honestly, she's more just a submiss.
Would you ever let her fuck you? Like if she had like a dildo or like a strap on.
Oh yeah, well this is a she's acting like you don't know, but it's a common thing in our group. When we first got introduced to our group, we like basically talked about it. So yeah, my girlfriend wants to peg me, and I'm like not into that shit.
Why not?
It's become a joke, but kind of not a joke. Because to me, it's a joke because they're out of their mind if they think I'm into that shit. But they say it's real because they're like, oh, it only takes a little bit of convincing and we'll do it. And I'm like, and anything going up my butthole. I tried it once when I was 7. It was not pleasant.
Wait, what?
I shoved it once.
I'm sorry, what, dude? Dude, if anything, just don't go to jail and drop the soap, because you're not gonna like that.
Actually, fun fact: they just start making fun of you, calling you gay.
Who, me?
In prison, because I saw a story from a guy who was in prison for like 30 years or something, and he said he's like, they won't fuck you drop the soap, but you don't want to drop the soap because they will make fun of you. They'll call you a nasty ass. They'll start calling you gay, and they will be making fun of you the entire time you're there because you're the guy who dropped the soap. As I was saying though, yeah, I got curious and I had an army man. I was playing with it. Yeah, no, not a figure. No, one of those little toy army men that come in a set. Like they're really small, and you melt them with a magnifying glass sometimes for like.
Oh no.
I don't know why. I guess because my butt was a little itchy, and I'm like, I wonder how this would feel if I just shoved it way up there. So I shoved it up my ass. And like, gloop, right up there. And I could not for the life of me find it. I don't even know if I actually shit it out. You know, it could still be in my ass, and I don't know. But like, I don't remember it coming out.
You shoved it.
Shoved it up there, and my butt just gripped onto it and shot it all the way up my ass. Then I started panicking. I was trying to pull it out. Finally told my parents I shoved an arm up my ass, and I was freaking out.
What did he say?
They're like, "Why the hell would you do that?
Oh my god.
What the fuck is wrong with you?" Well, they didn't say the F word. They're like, "What the heck is wrong with you? There's something wrong with our child."
Oh my god. So that's whenever you lost your virginity?
Yeah, I lost my virginity to a plastic army man. The size of my thumb.
Imagine saying that to like
She was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" She actually did say, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" She was like, "I was 7." She goes, "I don't care how old you are. Who shoves an army man up their ass?" I was like, "Apparently I do." I was like, "Ever since then, I don't want anything up my ass. Okay, leave me alone."
Yeah, but of all things, why a toy soldier? Why not,
I was
like-
playing with it. It was all I had on hand. My butt was a little itchy. I was like, I wonder if this can scratch it. Let's scratch the inside of my asshole. And I shoved it up there.
So you were just curious what it would feel like?
Yes. On top of the fact that my ass was itchy. So I was like, I gotta scratch it, you know?
So once you would have scratched it, you were just horny until you just...
I was not horny because I was really young. In fact, I just kept shoving it up there because I was like, oh wow, this is really scratching it. I like this. It wasn't like a wow, pleasant feeling. It was more like, oh, what a relief. It's scratching it. Let's keep going. And it reached a point where my butt just went bloop and shot it way up there. And then as soon as that happened, I was panicking. I was shoving my fingers far up there. I was trying to pull it out. Later, I felt like shitting. I was trying to shit it out. It would not come out. So I started panicking, and I started thinking that it would be stuck on my asshole for the rest of my life.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
Or like, did you moan like oh?
I didn't moan. I was just like, it's on my ass,
Wow,
oh
dude.
no. And you know, I was panicking when I had to tell my parents I had an army man up my ass.
So do you think it's still there, or you just pooped it out?
I probably pooped it out. I just probably got lazy and stopped checking my stools. My poo-poo, my caca, my shit.
I mean, wow, dude. I don't think I can top that. Can you top that?
Oh, I can top
cannot.
it.
You okay? Go.
I can top my story with another story. This is the story of the time that I had really bad diarrhea. Like horrible, horrible freaking diarrhea. I was going to a masquerade party. I had to stop at a gas station. I was on the verge of Hindenburging. I was going to collapse. So I just rush in there. The toilet seat's just completely drenched in piss. Very particular about that. So instead I just lift the toilet seat and I hover over. Now mind you,
You hover the toilet.
mind you, I am seconds away from blowing. I already cannot hold it. So I just start shitting as I'm getting myself situated. And it goes,
So you were floating still.
okay, so here.
Can you show me?
Yes. So I'm literally, okay, here's the toilet, and I'm like, oh shit, there's piss on it. I'm about, oh, now you go. And I'm shitting right now. This is the point in which I'm already shitting.
So it's like,
Yeah, and so then I hover over, and I'm shitting like this. And when I turn back, there's shit all down the toilet seat, and some of it's even on the floor, just all over.
God.
I'm like, oh shit, this is really bad. This is really bad. And so I grabbed toilet paper. Actually, no, it was paper towels. And I'm just, no, it was toilet paper. And I'm just scooping the shit into the toilet. So I'm just taking it in globs, and I'm like, I gotta clean this up. This is horrible. Then someone knocks. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, I'll be out in a moment. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, there's so much shit here. There's no way I'm gonna clean this. Like, there's no way. So I go to wash my hands. They're out of soap.
Oh no.
And they have no paper towels.
So what did you do?
I just rinsed off my hands. I wiped off the shit. Oh, I got a little bit on the back of my shirt too. I had to wipe it. Luckily, my shirt was tucked, so it's not that big a deal. But I'm wiping it off. This is gross. There's poop everywhere. Like I just had to clean my asshole when that guy knocked, just to get it out of the way.
Dang,
And I'm washing my hands vigorously. but there's no soap, so I'm like just doing the best I can. I get myself fixed and all that. And I open the door up, and he's the most stereotypical Mexican that like probably doesn't speak English. I know that sounds kind of racist, but I'm like, he didn't really say anything to me. He kind of nods his head because he's happy that he can finally go to the restroom. I know that dude has not seen the bathroom. And I know that dude isn't going to be happy when he sees that bathroom. So I bolt out of that place, and I get in the car, and I'm like, yeah, I shit all over the toilet. Told my parents about it. They're laughing their ass off. I'm like, that guy was probably like, oh, caca! Oh, no! And he was probably not happy, but he was smiling when you got to the bathroom. And I was thinking to myself, you ain't going to be smiling for long. So that's my shitty story right there. So,
dang, dude.
That was quite a
poor Mexican. I bet you went back to Mexico after that.
Like there's shit everywhere in this freaking godforsaken country. I'm going back to Mexico. At least they had some drugs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can imagine like the Mexican guy. He was looking at all like the shit everywhere, and he just found this random army man in just the middle of.
Oh my god.
They finally came out after like 10 years, no, 5 years.
Oh my god. When was this?
I will say this was when I was pretty old. I was I want to say 13, 14 years old when it happened. Oh man, it was so shitty.
Why did you have to shit so bad?
I had diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
And it didn't really hit until as soon as we got on the road. And for some damn reason, they weren't convinced that I needed to shit for like a good 15, 20 minutes in. And then they finally were like, okay, I guess he really does need to take a shit. And then I shat myself.
Damn. Have you ever shit yourself before?
I actually did recently.
Recently?
Yeah.
Dude, how old are you?
Hey, I thought it was a fart, okay?
Oh, I thought it was a
Oh
fart.
yeah.
Luckily, it got mostly around my ass cheeks, so it just took me a while to clean it, but at least it did that.
So you thought it was a fart, but in reality, you just actually took a shit.
It was like one of those quick wet ones that are like super juicy, you know?
I hate those.
You hate those?
God, like, cause
So-
like literally recently at work. Well, not too recently. It was like a year and a half ago. Freaking, I was just doing my job and I was just farting because I was like, you know what? I've been holding it in for a long time. It feels gassy, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna let it out. Next thing you know, I feel liquid going down my pant leg, and I'm like, oh god, oh no.
Oh my god.
And like I literally, and this was like way after lunch, way before my break, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to like just steal some underwear real quick. Freaking, I cannot walk like this.
Dang. So you stole underwear?
Oh man, I bought it like before I left, but like just for that moment though, just. I mean, I don't think anyone saw me, but like just this random guy walking weirdly to the underwear section, going to the restroom, and then walking out. Like I had nowhere to put my old underwear, so I had to just throw that sucker away.
You threw it away?
Yeah.
Dang. Like, did you see what it looked like? Underwear?
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I had like just a nickel-sized droplet on my underwear. But the rest was on my cheek, and gosh, was it dirty! I clogged the toilet that day. Luckily I plunged it and got it to go down, but gosh, it was horrible.
How are you so bad at taking a shit?
To be fair, I haven't shat myself in like several years.
Do you think aliens take shits too?
Of course, I mean all creatures take shits. When we think about even plants take shits
How?
with their roots. And their chemical excretion.
That's weird. I want to see
to the soil.
I want to see an alien take a shit one day. What color do you think it'll be?
I don't know. Oh, probably whatever freaking heats. I remember from Planet 51, where they're like, do you gotta do a 1, 2, or 3? And he goes 3.
What's a 3?
I don't know. It's some joke about the aliens. Apparently, they do like a 3.
There's a 3.
I know it's vague. It's the kind of the joke in the series, and then here's the movie.
Dang.
I assume it's like vomit. I don't know. It'd be a 3 for me.
So what's a 4?
That's probably time.
It's a 5.
5. It's
All the above.
yeah, just simultaneously shitting, coming, and throwing up.
So next time.
No, a 5 sneezing from your nose and shooting snot out.
Have you ever like
6 is earwax. A 7 is tears.
Damn. So what number does it go up to?
Nah, as many as you want.
have you ever like laughed so hard, like you laughing so hard, like liquid comes out of your nose?
Yeah.
You ever
Oh,
laughed
while
that
you're
hard?
drinking, yeah.
No, like you. Well, yeah. I guess you can say.
Don't tell me you've had it shoot without drinking anything.
No, yeah, because like whenever I was in elementary school, I was drinking chocolate milk and I was laughing so hard, like it actually started coming out my nose, dude. It sucked.
So-
It was painful. It sucked.
So apparently, the easiest thing to go down your nostrils is milk.
Yeah.
So if you're lapping and you're drinking anything and it's milk, it's definitely gonna go out of your nose. I had water kind of come out of my nose, but that wasn't all that bad.
Water. Yeah.
One time I had Sprite though. That was the worst.
Oh.
It was so freaking horrible.
Spicy.
At one time I burped and then let it go out my nose instead of my mouth, and that burnt like shit.
Oh my god.
Don't ever, if you burp after drinking soda, just let it out of your mouth. Do not let it out of your nose.
Dang. Have you ever tried McDonald's Sprite?
What do you, like a specific flavor? Just
No, like
Sprite.
I don't know why, but like out of all restaurants, I feel like McDonald's have like the best. The best
They
Sprite.
had this flavor, and I didn't know if they had it bottled yet or not, which they do. They actually have it at the break room. I haven't drank it yet, but I am happy. 'Cause-
You have to show me.
yeah, it's called Mixed Berry, and I used to only have it at Walmart. and
Mixed
it's
berries.
so freaking good. I loved it.
Damn. Yeah, because when you drink some Sprite from McDonald's, like you take one sip and it bites back. So delicious.
You're talking about like how the straw feels when you
No,
drink
like
from it.
no, like no, the Sprite itself. Like when you drink it, like it just tastes so
To be-
strong.
To be fair, it's just the syrup mixed with the carbonated water, so it doesn't have all that like extra residue flavor, you know, that like bottled stuff has. Like no matter what you stick it in, it's always gonna have like a kind of a flavor of what it was bottled in. But when you have a syrup mix, it's like fresh and it doesn't have anything extra in it. It's just it's pure flavor. So I mean, I kind of get that because it always. I will say fountain drinks definitely taste different than like bottled drinks, but I don't notice anything significant with like Sprite. Are you saying only McDonald's, or are you just saying like fountain drinks in general?
McDonald's Sprite.
I don't notice a shit, but you know what it might be? It might be the way they mix it, because some stores are cheaper and they'll put less, and some stores have more. Like I feel like if yeah, I feel like the Sprite at Chick-fil-A might have some pretty good
Yeah.
concentrate.
Basically,
They
it's
try to
like-
make it really concentrated.
It's like you're drinking God's piss. Which is so.
You talking about the lemonade?
The lemonade. No.
Lemonade is pretty badass.
Have you ever tried lemonade with sweet tea mixed together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pomade or what it's called.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer.
Pomade is a chemical agent.
That's pretty good.
It's a new one. Yeah, well,
That's something I want right now.
Arnold Palmer. There's Orange Palmer.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
Orange Palmer. What is that?
Instead of lemonade, it's orange juice.
Ah, orange juice with sweet tea.
Yeah.
That's what.
I kind of want all three: orange juice, lemonade, and sweet tea. That'd be pretty freaking good.
The Mighty Palmer.
The Mighty Palmer. Is that the name of it?
Oh no, I literally just came up with that.
That's a pretty good name. Let's call it that. We're claiming it now. No one else, by the time you hear this podcast, will have already written. Yeah, so don't even bother with patenting it. By the way, apparently he patented it. That's why it's named the way it is.
Oh, okay, that's why.
I don't know if that's true. I just heard that from someone.
And then like Chick-fil-A made its own like weird name for it. Like was it like the something Joy, Sunjoy?
Well, they had to give it a weird name because apparently it's patented.
I never knew about that.
And this guy drinks Long Island, which is alcohol. I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of alcohol.
Daiquiri.
Daiquiri.
Yeah. I love me some daiquiris.
I don't know what daiquiri is, but
Have you ever had some daiquiris?
Nah.
You don't
Like
drink.
I've seen them like stocking the alcohol out, but like I've never actually like. I mean, was it like kind of like a smoothie kind of?
Basically, it's a smoothie with alcohol. Basically.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never.
It's
had
like
it.
a big boy's drink.
A big man's big drink.
Yeah.
I'm more of a strong and fruity guy. As long as it doesn't have that like that rotten taste in it, I'm fine with it. It's like beers, like hell no.
Have you tried Jack and Fruit Punch?
Sounds good. I almost bought that recently. Remember?
What?
When we went to UFOs, I was about to buy it.
Oh, that was that drink?
Yeah, it was a
Damn.
drink.
What did you buy instead? Little
I brought
What did Roger say?
buzz balls.
Buzz balls.
Ironically, I bought green apple buzz balls.
Buzz balls.
And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of had this flavor, but it had a really, 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 really strong bitter aftertaste
Oh,
that
dude.
it did not like.
So like I think it was 2 weeks ago. Me, Caleb, and Roger, we went to Mex Bowl, and before we did that, we went to liquor store. And
I was absolutely trashed.
dude, he was fucked up, dude. He was. Fucked
I literally
up.
passed out at their house. I was so like out of it. So luckily, I sobered up just before I went home.
Yeah,
So
because
glad.
I didn't want you driving like that. Yeah.
I was
so-
groggy, but I was sober.
Yeah, and I mean, was that the first time you got drunk?
That's
you said
That's the third
time.
That was the third time I ever gotten drunk.
What happened your second time?
I was at Thanksgiving with my girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that video. Oh, by the way, I'm drunk.
Jesus.
And I was playing with Barney and Sandshrew, and they were fighting each other. And I'm like, Barney's gonna win, but Sandshrew's my bro. I'm gonna help him out. And it was so
Dang,
sweet.
dude.
I actually forgot she recorded me. I only remember bits and pieces of that. I didn't necessarily get blacked out drunk, but I guess I only remember like things that were like really sticking out to me, like the food, me walking outside. I don't remember everything. Like I actually forgot I was recorded. Then I watched the video and went, oh yeah, now I remember.
So is that girlfriend like the girlfriend you're with now?
Yeah.
How long have you been together?
6 months coming up here soon. She reminded me.
6 months?
Yeah, it's maybe 6 months here soon. I'm like, wow.
When's the wedding?
I haven't proposed yet, so I don't know.
So do you love her that much?
I do. I am thinking about it, so it'll happen eventually.
Eventually. Yeah, I mean, if it happened the first week, of course it happened.
She got all mad though that it happened, and I'm like, I thought you were okay with this because you talk about like drinking all the time. Just well, it's different because like I feel more at ease when I'm there with you, and I was like, so you just upset that I drink without you? She goes, no, I just don't want it to become a habit. I was like, all right, that's fine. Like I had this issue with my last boyfriend. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't want to be going out like that again.
Oh, let me ask you, how did y'all two meet?
We met through Leslie, and Leslie's friends with Chris. And I actually technically met her at Walmart.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Everything Walmart.
Yeah, there's a lot that went down at Walmart. Luckily, we don't hang out there as much. I hated it. I'm sorry, but I know it wasn't your fault, but Leslie was way too obsessed with the movies. And we would spend hours at Walmart, and it sucked. It was not the greatest place to hang out.
Damn.
He treated it like it was a mall, and it's really not.
Dang.
But then he treats the mall like it's some boring place to shop.
Well, whatever you do, don't go to Walmart drunk during the moment. It sucks, dude. It sucks because you don't know what you're doing and you're making a fool of yourself, and then you just buy all unnecessary shit.
Oh my god, like.
I know.
I do that even when I'm not drunk.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I was drunk at Max Bowling, I spent way too much.
Yeah, you bought mozzarella sticks, you bought a burger, you bought us the laser tag.
I spent $3 on it.
How much?
$3.
$3?
What's his name? What is
Roger?
his name? Roger spent most of it.
Yeah, I feel pretty bad because he spent $40 I think for 1 hour of bowling.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was $40.
We should have gone. We should have gone to Showbiz.
Yeah, I mean-
way cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, we had a great time.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Man, if
Yeah.
I had known that, I would have really been against it because that's way high priced. How much did we pay for? It was 10, right?
I mean, I don't remember. I do remember it being, cheap as dirt, but like other than that, I don't remember the price.
Cheap as dirt.
Yeah, it was really cheap, and you get free soft drinks.
Free soft drinks?
Yeah, I thought it was just when you were waiting for your movie, but apparently they give you free soft drinks when you're just in the lobby, even if you're bowling.
Right.
That's why I didn't have to pay.
Yeah, cause I was getting scared. I'm like, okay, whose tab is this going on?
Damn.
No, when you opened a tab, they thought you were gonna drink alcohol.
Oh,
It was an
okay.
alcohol tab, not a soft drink tab, and there are no tabs for the soft drinks.
How often do you drink alcohol?
I don't drink at all, mostly because I really don't have any interest in it. Because I don't imagine I would like the taste of alcohol, like at all. And because I remember I used to go to my cousin's house, all the time, and they'll always be partying there, they'll always be getting drunk, and I just smell the alcohol in the air, and I'm like, nah, like I don't want to do this. And really, the only alcoholic drinks I was ever interested in were like daiquiris and like pina coladas and all that. But then like they have non-alcoholic versions of those. Oh, that reminds me. There was this pina colada drink I wanted to buy. It was in the juice aisle. Damn. But even then though, like I don't really have any real reason to get into it. And then like, two, seeing the history with my family, like not anyone in this household, but more specifically, our cousins and all that kind of stuff. Actually, even with my dad at some point, like we have like a real bad like problem with alcoholism. You know, with like just letting it kind of take us over. So I'm like. And I believe in something called epigenetics, which is basically like whatever habits and stuff like that your relatives have, it's pretty much been passed on to you. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea for me to probably drink alcohol because I don't want to end up like like the rest of my family,
or end up like Larry.
Oh god, I probably would be a Larry. I'll start listening to country music more often and all that.
Country music? Who was Larry?
Oh yeah, freaking one of the inside jokes. So Leslie has this uncle. His name is Larry. He's like the most generic country guy, or not generic, the most stereotypical country guy you can think of.
Either way.
Like super fat, always wearing the overalls, or just wearing nothing at all except for his underwear.
That's how we met him.
Freaking, he's like, howdy y'all, how you doing? Hey Les, you want to watch a movie? And like literally, he's just so much of a character. I literally made a character called Uncle Larry for my show, and just like I exaggerated him even more so than he already was, to the point to where like it's obvious that they're two different people, but like
sometimes you just can't tell them apart.
I mean, yeah, it's seemingly that he's just always getting drunk and all that.
So that's what America looks like.
Like, but the real difference is that my character Larry, and what we'll actually like reference all the time as a joke, is that he has sex with his dog all the time.
Oh my god, that's a Larry.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think I mentioned it to you once, didn't I?
Yeah, but not this part that he's into bestiality.
Yeah, I didn't say it flat out because it makes me feel uncomfortable when I say it because it's just really weird. But
I forgot
how does it make you feel comfortable if you shove a whole soldier up your ass?
I don't want to fuck a puppy. That's just weird to me. I mean, shoving an army, I'm like, the army can't consent. It's just a piece of plastic.
So basically, you'll fuck whatever has a hole in it.
I don't even remember how it even got to that point. I think it might have been like joking how he got so drunk that he did that, or like maybe like I was making like an incest joke.
No,
I'm like,
I
don't know
remember
any
the
other
joke because I was there and you kept evolving it each time you made the joke. The joke was he really obsessed over his dog and admired it. And then it went from obsessing and admiring over it to being romantically interested. Then it went from romantically interested to I'm just fucking my dog. And he would like rumor that he's gonna marry it, which reminds me of another character that marries a raccoon or something.
The shit white people do.
I'm not white, neither is he.
Dude.
I mean, I'm white. What am I saying? I'm white, but he's not. I'm so retarded right now. My brain's fried.
Oh man.
I mean, I love my dog, but not that much. To the point like I want to fuck him like that. Like, dude, just imagine like.
He legit slept with his dog, not like in a sexual way, but like the dog would like lay on top.
You know, like cuddling. You know, like
yeah.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
And
but,
so like that's where the joke came from. And then he was like, he was always around his dog. And he was always like taking care of it and all that. But then he like left the dog for a girl. So it's kind of like Scooby Doo and Shaggy.
I feel like Robot Chicken made a video about that or a skit. Because Robot Chicken makes videos out of everything.
Oh no, Shaggy, you weren't supposed to see this.
Oh
no.
Oh, be gentle, Scoob.
That's a really good impression. Dang.
God, I really want to use that voice for a character. I'm just trying to figure out who either who I'm gonna inspire the character after, or I just come up with something from the top of my head. Like literally, I was in the restroom one day, just playing my voice, looking at myself in the mirror, and I was just trying to come up with a voice that would stick, because I was like, okay, my character cast is coming up. What kind of original character am I gonna make? And so I remember a friend of mine. He said he had this old persona back when he was a furry, and his name was Alex the Fox. So I'm thinking, okay, let's see. So if I'm gonna impersonate this kind of fox guy, I imagine he'd be like all soft and sweet and stuff like that. And then I kind of thought, what if I just did with what they did with the game Conquer? It just made him like completely the opposite. He's like alcoholic, you know, it's like sadistic and all that. So I'm like, so I started playing around with my voice. I'm like, hey guys, I'm Alex the Fox. I want to kill people now. You know, so and then just kind of like it's kind of. I mean, that's a short version, but like eventually it came to that weird Joker kind of sound. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna stick with.
So that's what the Fox says.
That's basically how he comes up with characters. Is just doing that shit. He even draws them out.
Oh, you draw too?
Yeah.
No shit. Dang.
He used to animate, but he ever since he lost his favorite program, he just can't do it anymore.
Well, I mean, it's not so much that. It's that like
I know it
don't
isn't.
really. It's
Exactly.
too much effort for me to like. Do I think it's worth it? Especially like if I'm not like making full length videos or anything like that. So.
I see your point. All right.
Would you ever get into that?
Probably like if I can get like at least a small team together, if we can like make some even just like content, just like giving animation to like any of the podcasts that I've made, you know, like just like little clips and all that, because
I
even
still want my
sprites.
sprites.
I literally forgot about them for like the longest time.
No, you actually gave up and you're like, why don't we just take pictures and GIF them? I'm like, fine, we'll do that.
Oh yeah, that's how we got the original Caleb died picture.
Yes, and then I was like, I never got around to getting pictures of Leslie, so I was just forget this.
Because like I think we're
I actually wanted you to create a model of me, I think it was, or something along.
What, 3D model?
Yeah.
Oh, for VR chat.
Yeah, essentially.
yeah. So he was on my floor, you know, doing all these like standing poses, and like I kept this one photo where he was just like on the floor doing this, and I put some dumb text saying, "Oh no, Caleb died."
Oh my god. I want to see that.
Yeah.
That looks funny.
That's the fun part with our chat. Is we just theme everything outfit and all that.
Dang.
Oh shit, we should get some of your audience in our Discord. You gotta leave a link to our Discord. Do you still have your Discord?
I don't think I have the app. I've never touched the server or anything.
You see this guy? He's still stuck on Facebook and he wants to switch to freaking Discord. What a fossil.
What a fossil. Hey, do you remember MySpace?
Oh gosh, yes I do.
Like I remember
I'm
my
that
mom
old.
having a MySpace, but I never had one myself.
I'm that old, man.
You still have a MySpace?
Well, you can't have one anymore because it's just because whenever you type in myspace.com, it just takes you to like a random link that's not MySpace.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
I
so-
heard they lost it and then someone else got it and revamped it or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it got lost again.
Damn.
So I don't know where it is now. What's that? In fact, let's do something fun. Let's see what MySpace is now.
MySpace. Man, those were the good times. Back in the day, MySpace was like popular.
www.myspace.com. And yes, I do use voice to text constantly.
God, like it's gonna be like when you type in thebomb.com and it takes you to like freaking some website called the Chive, and I'm like, how does this connect? What?
Yeah, I figured like maybe an actual bomb or something.
God, like, cause I used to hear that like catchphrase like all the time from people, and I'm like, I wonder if there isn't like an actual bomb.com.
There was, and it had some goofy shit on it. It was actually pretty cool.
Dang.
Apparently, it is a video platform similar to
see.
YouTube. It's loading.
Who's your provider?
Verizon. But I've been using it nonstop because we don't have Wi-Fi at home right now.
Shoot, I mean, I just use my 4G all the time because like it's better than the Wi-Fi like most of the time, anyways.
Yeah.
But then like because of that, like freaking randomly T-Mobile will just turn like wherever I'm at to a dead zone. Because like out of nowhere I'll see the E and I'm like, oh god, like why? Actually, she tried to call me when I got home, and then like all of a sudden that's whenever like they wanted to take away the connection. I'm like, really? So I had to step out of the truck, and then like and all of a sudden, you know, I got connection back, and I'm like, come on now. I watch anime in my freaking truck, and you tell me I can't make a call?
Dang.
God.
I wonder if aliens have Wi-Fi themselves.
God, I can imagine.
MySpace. Trending. Oh, it's just trending videos.
Yeah, the videos. I guess it's a video platform now, kind of like YouTube. All right, guys, ditch YouTube. Go back to MySpace. You hear me? We're gonna make this a new thing. It'll be the next AMC and GameStop thing. We'll just out of the blue something gets popular for no reason. Come on, guys, let's get on this trend. It's not really a trend, but we can make it one. I believe in us. Small community of like 50 viewers that barely watch.
Oh yeah, like all the Indonesian viewers.
Oh
which
yeah,
I do
totally
appreciate.
forgot about that. Yeah, our audience is generally in Indonesia. Hey,
Oh,
Indonesia.
really?
Yeah, like, I mean, because we looked at the statistics of like where my viewers come from. A lot of them come from Indonesia for some reason. I'm like, okay, I much appreciate it, but like, why there? Of
I
all
think
places?
I looked into
Yeah.
it. I think Victor said one of his friends was stationed in Indonesia. I think that's why. I might be wrong, but I think that was one of the reasons.
Huh.
Yeah,
But
and,
I also
like,
know that if that guy is there, then he's gone all over Indonesia because it covers like 1/3 of the country.
Damn.
Because it can specify where in that region it comes from, and it was like North Indonesia, South Indonesia, and it turned out it was like 1/3 of the. It was a very small group of people, but
Where's Indonesia located at anyway? Is it
like
by India or something?
Asia.
it's
Asia?
like right below where you I guess you would say China and Vietnam are, but right above where Australia is.
Cool. We should go there one day.
Yeah,
What do you
surprise
think?
the
Indonesia?
viewers. Be like, hey
That'd
guys,
be pretty cool to go to.
since you're the majority of our audience, even though we're in America, we'll go there to see y'all.
I'm just scared, like, since you're white, they'll think you're a ghost or something.
I mean, I've gotten a lot more pale. I used to be as brown as this dude.
Oh yeah.
Dang, what happened?
I got hired with Hiring Dynamics and I turned pale.
You turned pale? Dang.
I don't remember how tan I was when I worked there. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I was pretty tan.
How long have you been there? It's been a while, right?
Yeah, I've been there close to 3 months. It'll be 3 months this team.
Damn.
I can apply direct now. Although I want to check my my contract before I make that decision.
I've always wondered, why do aliens always steal cows?
I don't know.
Oh, for burgers, I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah, that makes
Burgers, brisket, milk.
sense. Or maybe they think they're the intelligent species.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're trying to figure out why we're farming them. Like, why the fuck do they keep drinking our titty milk?
Also, like, why do we... Because, like, I used to watch documentaries on YouTube where people claim they've been abducted, and I don't know if that's true or just
I watched
false.
that. I mentioned him recently. The guy from Smosh. What was his name?
Anthony?
Yeah.
Patino or whatever. He has a series on his channel now called A Day With, and put whatever here. And he had a day with well, yeah, that was one. That's not the one I'm talking about. A day with alien abductors or whatever they're called. And I don't know, they seemed like straight up trolls. Like one of them was like definitely playing it. It's like, it was such a sexy alien, I just kept going.
Oh my god.
It's pretty funny, but like there's a hint of there's no way in hell this is real.
You see, whenever it comes to those types of stuff, I'm always skeptical about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like, if did they actually get abducted, or they just want, attention? Yeah.
A few of them I could tell were definitely attention seekers, and a few of them I think were just straight crazy.
Yeah, because
They were like fidgety and like
not
really
all of them
like
make
bugged
sense.
out.
Yeah, not all of them make sense.
And they weren't
to me.
saying anything entertaining. They were just kind of saying random hoopla shit. And it's like, hey, you're... Whoops.
Oh,
Shit
there goes your phone.
Yeah, dropped my shit right on the floor.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I just can't wait one day to meet one alien.
I already met one.
Where?
Me.
You're an alien?
Yeah. You can't tell?
No, I cannot tell. I mean, do aliens shove shoulders up their ass?
Exactly, that's an alien thing to do.
Yeah, it was.
You think a normal human being would do that? No, that's why I'm an alien, because no normal human being would shove an argument up their ass.
Alright, so where's your spaceship?
It's up my ass. You would not believe how spacious it is on the inside. That's a Doctor Who reference, in case no one caught it.
Oh yeah, I did start watching Doctor Who.
Nice!
But like, 2 episodes in though.
So you understand my joke of it's cleaner on the inside with Doctor Who?
No, I just understood the part like where the mailbox is bigger on the inside than the outside.
But you mean the police box?
Yeah, that. Oh,
Yeah,
the telephone booth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Apparently, it transforms. That they're actually briefly mentioned in an episode. It transfers him to another regional space. So like the threshold is like a door to like basically another dimension where his house and building exist. And one day one of the rooms gets broken. He has to go on the outside of that void to fix it. But you don't get to see it. He just says he was there or something.
So what's your like all-time favorite TV show?
see. For me, it would definitely be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Dang. Have you ever seen
Whoops.
Well, oh god.
Oh God.
I like to watch sometimes a reality TV show. Have you seen a show called Parks and Recreation?
Oh, I've wanted to get into that actually.
You should.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it, but I've seen a lot of memes from it though.
It's funny. So there's this one character I've always get related to, which is a guy called Ron Swanson. Dude, oh my god. Like, what are you doing?
Stretching.
You stretch like that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Jesus, dude.
Looks like you're about to do some sit-ups.
I feel so uncomfortable right now. The energy.
I feel great right now. What are you
feel
talking
great.
about?
That's
Yeah,
good. That's as you
comfy.
should. As you should. Dang. So what about your favorite food? I'll go first. Tacos.
I thought you said toes for a second.
What?
Whoa! Hold up.
I'm not Leslie. I don't suck toes.
Dang.
Suck toes.
So when I was younger, I used to really like a thing called pierogies, but it wasn't traditional pierogies. It was what was called a pierogi casserole, and it was kind of made like a lasagna dish, but it was potatoes, noodles, onions, butter. It wasn't just potatoes, like mashed potatoes, like the good kind, like garlic and pepper and all that.
Dude, you're making me hungry right now.
And then there was cheese. They threw cheese in each layer and layered it on top. And the last layer was noodle and then like a little bit of butter. And then once it was done, getting cooked, you'd put some cheese on top and you would melt it, and then you would be done. That would be how it ends.
Can you cook? By any chance?
Yeah, I can cook. I cook pretty good.
What can you cook?
I make badass hamburgers. You can ask this dude here.
Hamburgers?
yeah.
He does? Really?
Badass hamburgers.
What else can you make?
I guess I could make pierogies, but I haven't tried it yet. If I do make pierogies, I'm going to make it a baked potato, mashed potato pierogi with bacon bits.
Ooh. Have you ever heard of a stromboli?
A stromboli? No, I have not.
It's an Italian. It's like a sandwich with like white cheese and ham and butter. It's so delicious.
But as I was saying though, I grew out of the whole pierogi thing and I started really obsessing with hamburgers. I really liked hamburgers. And then from there, I kind of started like other things like steaks. Like,
So what do you all put in your hamburgers?
ooh, like in the patty or on the bun or like in the bun.
So like if you were to prepare me a nice juicy hamburger, what would you all put in it?
First, I would start with the patty. And the patty's the best part of that shit, I get that garlic. I get that pepper. I throw in a little bit of chipotle.
You sound drunk right now.
I would get... No, I'm not drunk. I get Worcestershire sauce. Throw that in there, too.
What's up?
Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's hard to pronounce.
I mean, I've never actually seen it pronounced. I personally call it Worcestershire.
Yeah, I think
Worcestershire.
that's the more accurate way
Yeah.
of saying it. Worcestershire. What the fuck it's called.
Is it like a spicy or something? Or
No, it's just it's kind of like a vinegary thing, and it just tastes like really full. It has like a lot of flavor in it.
Huh.
Anyways, I'd get that, and then throw in some liquid smoke.
liquid smoke.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, how liquid smoke is made is they take smoke and then they compress it and they put it inside liquid like water and until it changes its flavor to smoky flavor.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, but I put that in my burger, and then I would put. Yes, I know I do that a lot.
That's okay. That's okay.
I would put. Gosh, there's one more thing I'm missing. I know. Oh, I make sure not to put it inside the meat. What I do is I form the patties. I put it on the outside of the meat, and that is Tony Satchery. I put that on the top and the bottom of the bun.
Ooh, yeah.
That sounds
Tony
good.
Satchery.
Ooh.
And then I would prepare some sliced vegetables, some onions and bell pepper, and I'd saute that with some Worcestershire as well, and some bacon grease from the bacon I fried previously, which I'll also put on the burger. Then I'd put mayonnaise on the top bun and mustard on the bottom bun, and then ketchup on the patty, and then I would put the onions and well, first I'd put lettuce, tomatoes, fresh onions. Then I would take the cooked onions. I'd put that on top of the top bun before putting it on top of the patty. But then I would put on top of the patty cheese, let that melt on top.
ketchup's already on the bottom, just for context. Then I put cheese on it. Then I put some bacon on it. Then I might put one more thing of ketchup on top of the bacon, just to add a little extra ketchup to the punch. And then I would kind of smash it together and cut it in half. That's the burger I make.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
I'll have to try it one day.
Yeah.
One day.
I
But
don't
not
know.
today.
Yeah, and not probably anytime soon because I'll probably be making Christmas foods for our Christmas.
Oh, have you done your Christmas shopping already?
Oh yeah.
You have?
I keep forgetting. Like I have a general idea of what I want to get everybody, but then like I just keep forgetting to actually go.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way right now. Like I already know what to get him. I already know what to get. Wait,
Your girlfriend?
I was gonna say my girlfriend, but actually I keep thinking. Yeah, no, yeah, I know what to get her. I know what to get her.
What are you gonna get her?
I'm gonna get her Raspberry Pi and a bunch of SD cards so she can play around with Linux and figure out how it works.
And you just basically told her.
She don't watch the podcast.
Well, she didn't watch your podcast?
Not that I know.
She's watched bits and pieces of them. I remember her telling me about it, but she doesn't.
Oh, wow.
I don't think she's ever sat down and watched a full episode, and I don't think she watched very many of them.
Oh yeah, and it's considering that we're like 2 hours in. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna get to it anytime soon. So
Dang, where's the
Yeah.
support? Dang, does she love you that much?
I mean, I'm not always in it, and I think actually I take it back. I think those are the podcasts she actually listens to.
oh yeah,
She
the one
finds
with
out-
you and Victor.
Yeah, when she finds out I'm in them, I think she just kind of skips around and listens to it.
By the way, y'all, you keep on saying that I'm so related to Victor. Is that true? What do you think?
I mean,
Oh yeah, like
are there any similarities between us so far?
I mean, other than the fact that y'all are both Hispanic, and then like
Wow.
you both wear glasses. You kind of look similar, but not really, because
Damn.
because the military is
that
has
right
had
there,
him put on a few pounds.
That what he
but-
just said there reminded me of Victor. Just the damn.
Damn.
Yo, yeah,
That's
no,
like
you
his
that
filler.
too.
That's like Victor's filler.
No, because I don't know if I should be
Damn.
offended or should I don't know, like...
I think that's his way of thinking too. Because I've always asked him, like, why do you say damn? Like you're the only person that just says damn like randomly, like in a sense that to me doesn't make sense. Like normally you say damn like something happens and you're like kind of freaked out. You're like, damn, like
Damn.
whoa. But he like uses it like almost like a filler. And when he started using it, I was like, holy shit, he's like freaking Victor. And even your voice sounds like him. Like
So
I
it's
literally called you and went, I think I called the wrong number. And I didn't want to say, hey, Victor, I didn't mean to call you, so I wasn't going to do that shit. I was like, oh, hey,
So
how are
basically-
you doing?
So basically it's like y'all talking to Victor, basically.
Like on the phone, yeah, you definitely kind of sound like Victor.
Damn. So
I mean,
in person-
as you talk a little bit more, I can kind of tell it's not Victor. But
So
like,
what about in person?
in person, not quite. His voice definitely sounds a lot more different in person. For some reason, though, it sounds very similar on the phone.
Dang.
Oh yeah, like every time I call my my grandma on the phone, she keeps on thinking I'm my dad, because like on the phone apparently I sound very much like him. I'm like, I mean, I can kind of see it, but like not really.
Well, I don't know, like just one day I just want to call an elderly person and just pretend like it's Satan, like your time has come.
Oh my god, that's so fun.
Or like death or something, like, hey, you have 5 more minutes.
Is it gonna be your prank call?
One day I just want to freak someone out and just for the fun of
Do
it.
it for Halloween, a Halloween special.
Oh my god. Yeah, that could be an idea. But I want to do it in Indonesia. Shout out to Indonesia.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, we're gonna try and build a backyard roller coaster.
Oh yeah, so basically, mom's going to try to get us a plastic drum barrel in the refineries because that's like the only place you can get a drum barrel.
Cheap. Yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you. I started to think about it and realized it was a dumb idea. That wheel I wanted you to get me,
Yeah.
don't get it.
Why?
Because I was thinking of the design and how that wheel would connect. It's not going to.
It's not going to?
No.
Okay.
I messed up. When I did, I realized, wait a minute, that's not how that wheel goes. I need a wheel that just kind of sticks out and is connected to a axle that's not like
Right.
that doesn't have a side. Because the axle for that wheel, there's a left frame and a right frame, and that would get in the way of it sliding across. Well, I need a wheel that sticks out that doesn't have like that kind of frame.
Yeah,
I need like a wagon wheel. That's what I need. A
Okay.
wagon wheel.
So whenever we do make the roller coaster video, I do want to dress up as a dinosaur. And just like just have a video of, like a dinosaur riding a roller coaster. Yeah. Just to make it interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah. because I'm trying to find my niche.
Your niche.
Yeah, for some reason I just don't know why. When you write down the words cliche and niche, it's
Cliche.
like I just didn't know how to pronounce them at the
Yeah.
time. So I thought they were pronounced right because like the one time you were correcting me at work. So yeah.
I said cliche, and like, what's that? And I was like, you know, like when it's stereotypical. Because I was talking about Larry. And I explained it the same way you did. I was explaining, I was like, yeah, it's like a cliche country person.
Whenever you first said Larry, I thought you were talking about Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob.
Oh
No,
no.
I was saying Uncle
like,
Larry.
Living like Larry.
And I was like, it's Larry, it's Leslie's uncle. By the way, that picture he sent definitely reminded me of Larry. The one of the guy sleeping with the mustache. It looked like Larry. Did it not?
I haven't seen it, no.
It looked like a weird mixture of Leslie and Larry mixed together.
Dang.
That's why I was like, it's older Leslie.
Have you ever realized like the word refrigerator? Whenever you say the word refrigerator and then you say fridge, there's no D in fridge, but there's D in refrigerator. Or am I crazy?
There's no D when you're saying fridge. It's just fridge. It's not fridge.
But like when you go to the store and you buy like a mini fridge, like most of the time it will say like it'll say fridge, but I have the D in it. I'm like,
Mini fridge?
well,
Fridge,
not fridge.
refrigerator.
Like well, yeah,
Mini
it's
refrigerator?
weird.
I've always wondered, where's the D in refrigerator?
I mean, I've seen it both ways too on packaging. Like maybe it's kind of like that weird British.
As
thing,
I've
you know?
always said, English is bullshit.
Yeah, but I didn't know that English was like the #1 language in the world, right?
I always thought it would be
yeah.
like Spanish or Mandarin or something.
No, Mandarin second, first is English, which ironically are the two most complicated languages.
Well,
Really?
yeah.
Damn.
English is a little bit down there. I think it's the 10th most complicated, but the most complicated language of all, I think, is Mandarin.
Dang. Mandarin.
Orange is pretty complicated.
Have you ever noticed like whenever you say the word touch, your lips don't touch, but when you say separate, your lips do touch?
I've never noticed.
Like try saying touch. Try saying separate.
separate.
You see, your lips touch when you say
Stop.
separate. you can't say the word.
Hooray!
You can't say the word touch.
Hooray! Hooray!
So can you try saying touch without like?
I don't know what you're talking about. I
See,
think
like-
that's fine.
Now you just sound like a hobo choking on a hot dog or something.
That reminds me of one of your things, the fighting one.
What?
Oh yeah. So we got these like two homeless guys like in the little neighborhood here, and so we got one that it's right next to he's right next to the Walgreens over here on Spencer, and so like he's like. I don't know him personally, but like, I kind of made him up as like this really religious nut, and like he'll do all these crazy like dance moves and stuff like that, asking you for like money for some faith in some faith museum or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we got this other homeless guy. He lives around the Burger King or the freaking food town over there in Deer Park. And then his thing is that he's in a wheelchair, and so like I assume he's a veteran, but I'm not sure. But either way, I kind of made up his character too, where his name is Randy. You know, he's a Vietnam War vet. Like he lives off of Burger King burgers, and he has conspiracy theories all day.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, what if we just got these two people in real life and just fight? You know, like whoever wins, I'll buy you a meal or something like that. I don't know, something stupid.
And then
That'd
you
be
can
pretty
choke on
fun.
hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, yeah, don't give them money because all they're gonna do is just spending on what beer and like cigarettes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, do you ever wonder like why hobos, why they're homeless? Because they make bad choices, or
Because they're insane.
I've always wondered. Sometimes I feel bad for hobos because not all of it is their fault, and some homeless people are also veterans that I've seen so far.
Yeah, the veterans
So-
got dishonorable discharges, which affects how they get work.
Yeah. I think it just really depends on like circumstance, because like again, either you make your own choices and you put yourself there, or again, kind of like the whole veteran thing. You know, just everything just seems to be against you, and now now you're in a place where it's really hard to get out. But I mean, either way though, like whenever I use like
comedy like concerning homeless people. Like I try to keep it comical because like I don't want to actually appear like like an ass, like I'm actually making fun of them, or no, I'm just trying to create some stupid comedy,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much with everyone. Like one of my characters, his name is Desmond. He's based off one of my old supervisors. His name is Desmond. I actually have his photo right there.
Yeah, where?
Because like he literally like gave it to me like on his last day, and it was like, here you go, man. You can have it, man. And I'm like, oh sure, thanks, buddy. But anyways, like this guy, he was like. He was one of the best workers I've ever met. He was a really cool guy, and like really great to hang out with. I never hung out with him outside of work, but damn, like so part of me feels kind of bad that I made this kind of character, kind of like emphasizing a lot of exaggerations that people make about him. Like he's this really Jamaican person who's obsessed with unloading trucks, but then I'm like at the same time, my character's just not him, kind of like with Uncle Larry, it may not be too different from the real Larry, but I mean it's still not Larry. Yeah.
Huh. Shout out to Larry.
Hell yeah.
Bing bong chili dog.
Oh yeah. Looking, because I just remembered the word cigarettes. So another inside joke we came up with. Again, I forgot the whole original freaking source of it, but like I kind of made up this thing where he likes to eat cigarettes like fries, and so therefore cigarettes are his favorite food.
Can't you die from eating cigarettes?
I think so, but
how is he still alive?
Oh my god. I don't know. I've heard people who've eaten cigarettes. Just not the greatest thing to eat.
Was he white?
Yeah.
See, the shit white people do, dude. It's crazy. Dang, I'm wondering what else you do on your free time. 'Cause I don't want to know anymore.
I want to know. I really don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, that reminds me. One of our coworkers was saying "bing bong." I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I've heard it before. Denise, she kept going around up and down the dock, going "bing bong, bing bong," and she would like look someone straight in the face and be like "bing bong," and then she just keep walking.
Bing bong.
And every time she said "bing bong," I was like, "Chili dog, chili dog." I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I was just thinking of Larry the whole time.
Larry.
God, yeah.
Because normally it's like "bing bong" and then put word here and then whatever afterwards.
Damn.
And so, like for example, like Robin's holy mackerel Batman, or holy guacamole Batman. It's something like that, but yeah, it's like I don't know. Oh, it's just like bing bong and then whatever else. Like, you could be like pizza. Hell yeah, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, like I remember the first time I ever heard Larry actually go "bing bong chili dog." Like he was just kind of muttering things to himself because he
was
took
at the
this,
Jumanji movie, right?
Yeah, it was at the Jumanji movie.
That's Larry and James. That's Leslie and James there.
Yeah, he kept on pointing at the screen, but then like some moments he would just be mumbling random things to himself, and I swear to God, I heard him saying, "Bing bong chili dog." Hell yeah.
You want to hear a joke about construction?
Sure.
Hold on, I'm still working on it.
Oh God.
I don't get it. The irony there is that you would have to get the joke to say you don't get it.
Why did the blind guy fall into the well?
Why?
He couldn't see that well.
I mean, fair enough. That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Obviously, you couldn't see well. So it wasn't there. You couldn't see it.
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
7, 8, 9.
No, because 7 was the 6th offender.
Oh boy.
Dude.
I was trying to say Six Flags one time, then I accidentally said Six Packs.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Encantano at Six Flags.
By the way, you should really learn sign language.
What? Learn sign language?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it'll come very handy.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
We're gonna wrap it up now because it's like 2 hours and almost 30 minutes. We're already past the 15 minutes.
Oh yeah? Is there like a certain time limit?
Not really.
Nah.
But
Because I also don't want to be too long.
yeah.
Yeah, because I also have so much shit to say in the next episode.
Alrighty, hell yeah. So like, well, what about it? This time next week?
Whatever you want, Daddy.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Daddy podcast here.
We got Asiago's cheesy daddiness.
Yeah, it's been an interesting podcast so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I guess I'll go ahead and
That's a wrap, guys.
Yeah, wrap this up here. Alrighty, so if you made it this far, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to all the weird and stupid shit that we've said today. But anyways, we thank you. We love you. This is your boy Asiago with Mr. Nobody and Electric Bacon coming at you on 3 AM Thoughts. Have a good one.